Hello, 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 and welcome. Welcome everyone to Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. Right now it's very quiet, but we can have the boy say, or, so that's what he sounds like. Yeti! Objection! Sounds that sounds different than Phoenix, right? So after finishing the original trilogy, let's move on with Apollo Justice Ace Attorney, the fourth game in the series. We're gonna start off the new year and new decade with a new lawyer, and it's gonna be awesome. So how's everybody doing? I hope your years are starting off pretty well so far. I'm just checking everything to see if everything is all good. There we go. I just want to make sure that everything is showing up. And alright. Sup, man? Alright, so let's get started, everybody. Just want to make sure everything's all good. Gotta make sure I look fantastic. Gotta make sure everything is a-okay before we start up with Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. And I'll make sure that my 3DS is charging, because I remember the last time I was streaming Animal Crossing, the 3DS just shut off by itself. Oh, see, you got yourself a shiny Magikarp? Nice. Alright, let's do it. Turnabout Trump. Alright. That's how we're gonna start out. I'm gonna head out. Good, great. This is how we start 2020. This is how we start 2020. Let's get started. Oh boy. So I don't know what's gonna happen. This is the start of a new trilogy, I guess. Well, I knew this game was about lawyers and stuff, but it didn't have to get so political. Oh, whoa, what's with this art style here? I like it. Okay, so everybody's playing cards right now. We got some animation. Showdown time. Okay, I think that somebody won. It's gambling. I love this already. You lose. Ah! Wait, what? Oh, my Snapple bottle! Ah! Blood in my game? Oh. Oh, and it's changing now. Wow, that was pretty cool, though. I seem to be in a bit of a trouble. I killed somebody. Something like that. Dead. Someone hit him. Hard. Me? Please. The cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands. Should it come to that. Alright. I guess this is when it all begins. Alright, here we go. Why is there... Holy heck, that's fast. That is way faster than the original trilogy. Why is everything so fast? Also, why is there a portrait of the judge on the top? You see that portrait right there? Panicked. Palms sweaty. Knees heavy. Mom spaghetti. I can admit it. I'm nervous. So let me see. Oh, my badge. How long did I yearn for one of these? Just putting it on makes me feel ready. Oh, wait. Oh, this 3D stuff. It's just like the Rise from the Ashes long ago. Oh, I can examine anything. Ah, there's a number inscribed on the back of the badge. There are many numbers like it, but this one is mine. Proof that I'm an attorney. To tell the truth, I get a happy feeling inside just looking at it. Oh my, so I can examine any piece of evidence? Alright, Smith's autopsy report. Why, you wouldn't want a portrait of that on your wall? So how about next time, whenever I do like one of those chill streams, instead of a green screen, I just put the portrait as my background. How about that? So behind me, it's just a portrait of the judge. Would that work? So let's see, for Smith, death was caused by a single blow to the forehead. Shoddy Smith. Alright. Oh wait, Christoph Gavin, but hold on, I got the crime photo. The sub-basement at the Borscht Bowl Club. Whoop, yup, he's dead alright. Look at all that gambling stuff. Yep, you see, that's me right there. In a couple of years, that's gonna be me. I gambled way too much in the real world. I loved video game gambling. Soon I'm gonna end up like that, and I'm gonna have some new lawyer protect me, I guess. But he dead alright. So let's see, Christoph Gavin, boss at Gavin Law Office. A first-rate defense attorney and my trusted mentor. And the question mark guy, my first client. Just standing in front of this guy makes me nervous. Is it me or does he look close like Phoenix? He looks a bit like Phoenix. Shotty Smith, the victim in this case, a traveler only recently back in the country. Alright, let's begin this. Good morning. Oh, the art style's a bit different too. There's like, as you can see, there's like more shadow with these characters though. There's like a lot more shadows. Good morning, sir. You look tense, Justice. Wound up tight. Hey, Chain Chomp, welcome. Wound up, sir? No, I'm loose. I'm fine. That screeching noise, is that your voice? I suppose this be expected. Your first trial, and it's a homicide. I guess justice doesn't start small, eh? I'm fine. I got about 5 a.m. to do my Court of Steel voice workout. I'm fine. So there's one thing me and Apollo got right. We both wake up at 5 to scream at the sun. Gotcha. That explains it. I did detect a certain rasping quality to your screech. I overdid it again. Wow, look at that animation right there. Also, what's with that hair right there? Does somebody braid their hair like this? They wring it out like this? Like, let me just make sure my hair is long. Like, squeeze the heck out of my hair. As you know, your client today is a good friend of mine. I wouldn't want to let him down, if you get my drift. Drift gone, sir. I'm all over that drift. As it happens, I dined with him the night of the murder. We can't let this case fall through. Yes, I'm fine, sir. One more thing. Don't say you're fine quite so much. People might take it the wrong way. I'll be preparing our case. You might want to introduce yourself to the client. And the client is... My name is Apollo Justice. If it isn't clear already, I'm a new attorney. And today is my first trial. So I wonder, what's with the new attorney thing? I thought it was like Phoenix Wright's story the whole time, so... Any reason why we're playing a new lawyer? Did people like this? Like, did they take it well that, you know, after 3 games of Phoenix Wright, it's like, push him away, here's a new lawyer, love him. How did people find him? How did people feel about that? Not that I'm worried or anything. The defendant has been accused of murder. My boss wants to help him out, of course, and so do I. I mean, there's no way he did it. Not him. No way. How was Apollo? Fine, or fine? Whoa! Wright needs some time out of the spotlight. Look at that goof. Good morning. Morning. It's all up to you today. First trial, nervous. Meeting him, cardiac arrest. And then I play Trauma Center and I gotta be like, oh yeah, I gotta help Apollo Justice with his cardiac arrest. I gotta use the defibrillator. Yes, the last night's stream with Trauma Center. Wow, that was a fun one. I think I'm supposed to say something. Help? By the way, how's the audio? Audio all good with everybody? So you're... Fine, I'm fine. Mr. Fine, is it? I did remember you having an odd name. Well, we're off to a great start. Are you sure you're okay? I mean, with me? Mr. Gavin is a top-notch defense attorney, and he's your friend, so why? You'll see. Huh? You can do it. Be confident. I'm really sorry this happened to you. It's time, shall we? Hey, Hamimi T. Yes, sir. Alright, let's get started with this. By the way, I do apologize if my voice seems out of sorts. I blame last night's stream. Last night's stream, I was streaming for a long while, so... My voice seems a bit out of sorts, so if I sound weird, my throat just received a lot of damage, so that's a lot of damage to my throat right there. Alright, so I raised up the game audio just a bit. Okay, I need to focus. First trial. Here comes justice! Alright, new trial, new lawyer, new game. Let's do this. What the? Wow, that's different. The judge is here. It's the same judge. It's the same judge. Oh my goodness.
It's the same judges here.
The court is now in session. What the heck happened to his hair? Winston Payne? What's with the hair? Like, cut that off. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Oh, that's me. Oh, I look nice. I like it. The defense is, fine. I mean, ready, Your Honor. Mind going blank. Don't panic. Too late. Your name was Mr. Justice. Polly is cute, baby. Payne's hairstyles keep getting goofier and goofier. Let me guess. At the end of this trial, will his hair fly away again? And this is your first trial? Yes, Your Honor, but I'm fine. Really? Are you quite sure? Your voice sounds a bit strained. Yep, my voice is a bit strained right now. Mr. Gavin. Yes, Your Honor. I was under the impression that you will be heading up this case. That was my intention, yes. However, a defense attorney must always see to his client's wishes. And my client specifically requested Mr. Justice. Well, of course he wants justice, but to entrust this case to this greenhorn. Why? I do not exaggerate when I say that you're one of the best defense attorneys in town, Mr. Gavin. Or the best. He's the best defense attorney. Okay, so Gavin's got trial experience, fine. But does he have cores of steel? Then let's begin. The defendant may enter the courtroom. Alright, here he is. Greenhorn, Metopia. This is truly an unfortunate turn of events. I'm sorry we have to meet again under these circumstances. Long time no see, Mr. The heck happened to Phoenix? So I was right, that is Phoenix. What happened to his spiky hair? Why is he wearing a hat that says Pa? What's with the badge? What's with the weird look? Like he's in an alleyway saying, "Hey, you want some defense?" It's he. Let's put the past behind us, shall we? These days, I'm merely Phoenix Wright, piano player. Excuse me, I need to cry for a second. Wow. Wait for element of justice. Payne has another fabulous style. That is quite a difference. Formerly an ace defense attorney of some renown. Wait, he's not an attorney anymore? What happened? What happened to him? Wait, he's 33 now. Has it been... Wait, he was 26 at the end of Trials and Tribulations, right? What happened in those 7 years? It was 7 years, right? But what happened? In 7 years. Winston Payne, he's 61 and he still stinks, gotcha. Mr. Wright, how could this have happened? I'm going to see what... Okay, so I will know what happens. I won't speak of it further then. Oh, Top Sloth? Oh, Top Sloth can come back. Unless I can take him away. Do people want Top Sloth or keep him away? I'll let you decide, chat. So keep him on so the... It's covering the judge's face. The judge is the sloth now. Mr. Sloth Judge. I won't speak a bit further then. If the prosecution will be so kind as to explain the charges, Mr. Payne. To think I saw you enter this room a fresh attorney, and now I'll see you leave in chains. Yeah, I'll keep it off, so... I'll keep him off. Ah, Winston Payne, subtle as ever, I see. Oh, new music. The crime occurred at the Borscht Bowl Club, a Russian restaurant. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, took the victim, a customer, and he hit him. Wham on the head. Smack killed him cold. A customer at the restaurant, you say? And the defendant, you say he was... The pianist for the club, it seems. Phoenix Wright. A pianist? This is the weapon that took the victim's life. A bottle of grape juice. I mean, you're not wrong. It's great. It's juice. Grape juice is apparently our defendant's drink of choice. The court accepts the deadly bottle as evidence. Deadly bottle? Ah yes, the delicious deadly bottle. Delicious deadly juice. Something to note, Justice. All evidence is filed in the court record. Make a practice of checking it frequently. The court record? Right, I've heard of that. Use the court record button to look at the evidence so far. I'm confident in your ability to handle this. And he smiles at me. Right, the court record button. Sounds like it's time for some hands-on action. So the victim was a customer at the restaurant. But just who was this, Shady Smith fellow? Oh, it's not Shoddy Smith, it's Shady Smith. He's shady. I get it. We believe he was a traveler, Your Honor. A traveler? According to his passport, he had been out of the country for a number of years. He had only returned to this country recently, though his place of residence is unclear. And he had some sort of connection with the defendant? That too is unclear at present, Your Honor. We believe they first met at the Borscht Bowl Club on the night of the crime. If they only had just met, then why murder? Perhaps the victim slighted the defendant's piano playing? Oh, you was gonna say Smith Shady, but it's not Smith Shady, it's Slim Shady. Orange juice is the best? Well, Arthur, the deadly bottle is not orange, it's grape. That doesn't appear to have been the case. No, the motive had nothing to do with the defendant's lack of playing skill. So Phoenix is not a good player. At least not piano playing. I'll let this photo explain what I mean. As we can see, a game of poker was in progress at the scene of the crime. Wait a second. Isn't poker gambling? Isn't gambling wrong? Does Pixel play gambling? Don't you look at me. Don't you look at me for playing gambling. That's a crime in and of itself. Give me that high C juice box. Sure, Tag. You can have that high C. I'll take the Capri Sun, alright? Indeed. It appears that the defendant has fallen to become the basest sort of criminal. Objection! That's what he sounds like? Objection! It is true that the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim, yet it was only that, a game in the purest sense. A competition, Your Honor. A competition? Yes, a test of wits, a silent clash of passions. Only the cards, their backs wreathed in blue flame, know its final outcome. Come again? CB, do not look at me like that with that oh no face. The cards on the table have blue backs, Your Honor. I believe the defense was waxing poetic in an attempt to mystify those present. Hey, Pixel Dog, welcome. An impressed woman. That'll be our first order of business here, then. To find out more about this fatal game of cards. So wait, where's Maya? If Phoenix is here, there's no Maya? Very well, defendant. You will testify to the court about the poker competition held the night of the crime. My pleasure. This is it. My first trial. Here goes nothing. Here we go. The first witness testimony. I am a pianist by trade. Ooh, I like this. The music's good. This has like some mysterious tone music. I'm a pianist by trade, yet I can hardly play at all. My real job is to take on interested customers over at the poker table. The room where we play in the competition in there are the club's main attractions. The rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. That's all it is. That's all it is. A game. And our customers are happy. I'm happy that there's gambling in this game. A pianist who can't play piano. Better than a defense attorney who can't defend. Youch. Very well, the defense may begin the cross-examination. Right, Your Honor. My first cross-examination. Don't blow it. Oh, you alright? You're sweating bullets. Bullets? Where? It's a figure of speech, Justice. Your voice sounds strained and raspy, too. My brain feels strained and raspy, sir. You've watched me perform cross-examinations many times. Though you've never done one yourself, have you? Care for a refresher? What to do, should I ask? I'm fine. Nope. No need for help here, sir. I think I've got this one covered. I think you better do more than think. You know it, or you do not. I'm fine. The cords of steel are ready for battle. My weapons, press and present. Find any inconsistencies and lies in the testimony and reveal them to the courts. That is cross-examination. Learn it. Know it. Do it. Wait, I said I know, but you're telling me anyway. Okay. Inconsistencies? Lies? Phoenix Wright? As if Phoenix Wright would never lie, and it's up to me to prove it. The defense may begin the cross-examination. Phoenix Wright, a liar? Let's see. Oh wait, can I yell? Hold it! I can yell! New game, who this? Hey Mimi, welcome. You can hardly play. Oh, I play sometimes when customers demand it. So I play them one song, that's usually all they want. Was that supposed to be a boast just now? The title of pianist is a mask, a respectable face I wear for the world at large. Then why are you really at the Borscht Bowl Club? My real job is to take on interesting customers over at the poker table. Hold it! I can become the lawyer I've always wanted to be. They pay you just to play poker? That would seem to be the case. I am a professional after all. So Phoenix gone from ace attorney to ace poker player. Wait, how come we don't have a Phoenix Wright poker game then? We should have that. Come on, Capcom, there's a poker game right there you should make. But do I detect pride in that statement? It's just hard for an honest, hard-working member of society like me to imagine. Yes, your imagination was always a bit limited, Winston. Oof. What? I played poker for 7 years in that little room, and I've never lost. And I've never lost once. What? You see why the customers come now? Defeat the undefeated poker champion. Defeat the undefeated ace attorney. It's quite a draw. That is, I'm quite a draw. Drawing Phoenix right there. Wait, you've never lost once? Not even one time? As I said, I'm a professional. He's played poker for 7 years and not lost once. Is that even possible? The room where we play in the competition and there are the club's main attractions. The room in the crime scene photo is an attraction? It has quite a history, actually. The Borscht Bowl Club used to be a gathering spot for black market types back in the day. But black market? All in the past, things like the black market are only on the silver screen nowadays. Suffice it to say that there were a lot of deals being made under the table. Right there in that room. I still can't believe that after all these years, Phoenix has looked he looks way more confident now for some reason. I don't know. Right there in that room. A smoky room, gambling hoods. You know, just looking at this picture makes me feel bad. The bosses gather around the table, cutting deals, safe from the eyes of the law. Meanwhile, Goon keeps watch through the small window. I can practically picture it now. That window does look like it would be good for keeping a lookout, but little else. Oh, I think right now Phoenix would have a Scrafty. His Pokemon will be a Scrafty. That shady Pokemon that holds up the skin and all that. The gangster-looking Pokemon. The room had a few other tricks to it, though it was common knowledge to our regulars. At any rate, they come to play poker in a room steeped in history. Despite the dark past, it was all just good, clean fun. The rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. 2 decks of cards? A simple measure to prevent cheating. If you alternate 2 decks, no one can slip in cards. There's something else I noticed. In addition to the cards on the table, there are some lying scattered on the floor. Oh, there are. Precisely, cards on the table, cards upon the floor, each one forming a complete deck. A crime scene painted blue by a sad swoop of cards. It's poetic, really. Incidentally, we used 2 types of cards at the club. One deck of cards was red, the other blue. Does everybody know their colors now? Red, blue, blue, red, Pokemon red, Pokemon blue, Pokemon blue, Pokemon red, but no yellow. As I recall in poker, you make 5-card hands. I can see how it would be easy to cheat. Heh. Yes, a game of hands. A game of show these hands. And for his neutral... Oh. And for his neutral special, he wields a grape juice bottle. Oh wait, can I examine the grape juice bottle? It has Mr. Wright's prints on it. But alright, let's look at this. Here's the grape juice, everybody. Does anybody want grape juice? Oh man, look at this beautiful grape juice bottle. It's so beautiful. The bottle's completely empty. Wait, I can't drink any? Why? It's supposed to be good. It's grapes, grape juice. How long has it been since I drank grape juice? Apparently it's Mr. Wright's favorite drink. I wonder how well it goes with borscht. Does anybody know what borscht is? I have no idea what borscht is. So, this competition you're talking about, I believe the court understands the nature of the game sufficiently. That's right. It was a simple game after all. Ooh. Are you sure? Huh? People are not murdered over simple games, Mr. Justice. Defendant, you were in the room the very moment the crime occurred. Oh, it's a Russian meal. Yet you claim no connection to the crime. Now that's strange. What's strange? I was testifying about the competition that night. Asking me about the crime at this point is against the rules, Your Honor. Of course, you ask an ex-ace attorney about rules and suddenly they're broken now. Oh yes. Are you sure you want to be talking to me about rules, Your Honor? And the judge is like, what? Are you saying what I think you're saying? Of course, I expected to hear a cry of objection from the defense. I completely let that one slip by. Don't despair yet, Justice. Sir? Right, there's something I'd like to make clear. Namely, your connection to the case at hand. And I'd like to hear from you. It does say Papa. His hat says Papa. Why does it say Papa? Yes, CB, I did see your comment about that. So apparently, I was looking at the diary in the wrong room. So I should have went outside then looked at the diary, but I did not know that. That's silly. Sure, why not? Very well, the defendant will amend his testimony. Just one little press. And I've got myself a whole new testimony. I plead silence regarding the murder, but I will say I never touched a murder weapon. Wait, what? It says right here, it has your prints on it. Oh wait, can I do it? Can I do it? Can I do it, everybody? Can I say it just this once? Objection! No, I didn't say it! I didn't get to say objection! That was not objection, though. So you say you didn't touch the murder weapon, this grape juice bottle. Right? So I said... something the matter, Mr. Justice? Ooh, ew! Too bad our new defense attorney never learned how to play dumb. Who flips their hair like that? What's this, Mr. Payne? I examined the bottle in question, you see, and it was covered with the defendant's fingerprints. Oh no! Wait, is Phoenix Wright wearing sandals? Objection! No need to shout, Mr. Justice, I can hear you just fine. Oh, look how nervous he is. Also, I like the bracelet. I do like his bracelet. Excess yelling can damage the judge's ears. In our case. Flip your hair? Okay. Oh, you want me to flip? Sure, let me flip my hair just one quick second. I'm just gonna flip. Let me go flip right now. Flip. I flipped my hair. How about that? Did that work out for everybody? Flipped. But what about my cords of steel? Anyway, what's so strange about fingerprints on a bottle in a restaurant? Well, that's true. The prints alone don't prove it. Mr. Payne sounds the same. Oh, they wouldn't prove a thing if they were normal fingerprints. Huh? But the fingerprints on the murder weapon were upside down. Upside down? What does that mean? It means he was holding the bottle inverted, and there can only be one reason for that. To pick up the bottle and smack somebody with it. Or to pick it up and drink it upside down. Yes, to brain someone with the bottle. Ah! How shocking. Mr. Gavin, I think things just took for a turn for the worst. Oh? I see no problem, Justice. Huh? The only thing that matters is the truth. There's a good reason for everything, you'll see. Defendant, can you explain your fingerprints on this bottle to the court? I stand by my plea of silence regarding the murder. For now. Not very cooperative, are you? This could hurt your case. I'm sure he's uncooperative because he's hiding something. There must be some reason. Objection! Your Honor, you seem to have forgotten something. And what might that be, Mr. Gavin? On the night of the crime, who was it who reported the murder to the police? Reported? Well, that was the defendant, Mr. Wright. But still, that... Really? Yes, well, according to the case file, the murder was reported from near the scene by a call from the defendant's cell phone. Wait, does Phoenix Wright still have that old cell phone? Like, he didn't upgrade, did he? Does he still use that little chocolate bar cell phone right there? Near the scene? Let's take a look at the diagram of the murder scene, shall we? Oh no, the dead body. The victim was murdered in a small room in a basement 2 floors down from ground level. Of course, cell phones can't get reception so far down. The defendant used the stairs in this hallway to go above ground. The call came from the first floor of the restaurant. I see, and this is the phone that made the call? Oh my goodness, it looks worse. It looks way worse than before. The Nokia 3310. You mean the Nokias that break the floor when you drop it? It's like, oops, I dropped it. Why is it in the other side of the world already? The defendant could have just fled the scene of the crime if he so choose. Hold on, I need to look at it. Look at his old phone. Hold on, can I call somebody? Boop, 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 boop. It looks better. It looks worse to me. Wait, why is there tape on it? Wow, the battery is being held in with a piece of tape. He should just buy a new one. Maybe he can't afford it, or he just doesn't care. Wow, Phoenix, just wow. Yet he fulfilled his duty as a citizen and reported it to the authorities. And you claim he is being uncooperative? Nice save, Mr. Gavin. I better not waste this. I think the prosecution has toyed with our client enough for the time being. Toyed? I assure you, no one is more serious about... What was it you said? The defendant was in the room the very moment that the crime occurred? How can you possibly know this? Oh yeah, on the phone version you got 60? I think it's 60 here, but the stream is 30 frames. I don't want to raise up the bit rate or the frames because there are people with different connections all over who are watching my stream. Unless you have the best connection, I won't be doing 60 frames until possibly when I make partner. If I make partner. In 20 years, when I do become partner in 20 years, but if I don't become partner in 20 years, then we're stuck with 30 frames for a while. Wait, hold on. My roommates are messaging me about something. I got it. I also have some freaky sprites on the phone? Wait, what freaky sprites? What freaky sprites? I don't see any freaky sprites. Oh, that's a good question. How indeed? The answer is simple, Your Honor. The prosecution has a decisive witness. Oh, the phone version. Alex is connected to my Wi-Fi. Oh no, how did Alex know my password is AlexGamer64? Without the 0! What do you mean with partner? Alright, I'll try to explain it. So, right now I'm a Twitch affiliate, right? And there is a step like beyond that that's called Twitch Partners. Meaning that if I'm well known enough on Twitch, then I can become a partner. But I need to have a lot of people watching me every single time I stream for a month to become partner. So it's like, I'm not rushing for that. I only want the stream for people to enjoy. I'm not going to be rushing to become partner or anything. So it's a crazy thing. It's like one of the toughest things to get on this thing. So I'm fine right now. But if I ever do become partner, that would be freaking amazing. You're as good as they say you are. So someone else was in the room the night of the crime. That must mean they witnessed the crime. Everything up until now has been a warm-up, Justice. Are you ready? Very well, the prosecution may call its first witness to the stand. Oh, we got somebody else. Aww. The witness will state her name and profession. Hold on just a moment. Where's the witness? The bowl is the witness. It's the bowl of borscht. I surmise that she has been frightened by the defense's demonic-looking horns. Ouch. So we used a little hair gel. Relax, people. Have no fear. If any horns pointing in your direction, this court will cut them off. Oh no, the judge comes to Apollo with the scissors. All right, Mr. Justice, cut off those horns. You are sure? I swear to my gavel. Please come out. Isn't violence against hair a crime, Your Honor? Well, if you are sure it is okay. She's so shy, though. Now, the prosecution. Oh, well, wait a minute. Would the prosecution care to explain the witness's, paraphernalia? Yes. Wait, Apollo's hair gets Wi-Fi? She is a professional, Your Honor. Those are merely the tools of her trade. Wait, I want to see a photo. I want to see a photo of Apollo, Apollo's hair sending off Wi-Fi signals and him connecting on his phone, right? But then more people gather around him, and then the hair goes down because the connection's not as strong. If his hair does get connection, I would love to see that. The antenna just gets weaker. Hold on a second. She is a professional, Your Honor. Those are merely the tools of her trade. And that would be... My name is Olga O'Reilly. Orly? Or Olga O'Reilly? Like the meme, O'Reilly. Sure, it's a new decade. Let's go look at old memes. Oh really? Oh really? I am employed as waitress in Borscht Bowl Club restaurant. Then why the camera? Nah, those are helicopter blades so Apollo can fly. Of course, it is my pride to serve borscht at his naming restaurant, but I also perform how it is said other service. I take in one of those other service is taking the customer's pictures. Like for example, this one. Oh. That's the defendant? Indeed, on the night of the murder. Man in white hat is one who has gone kaput. Indeed, that is the victim. Uh-oh. Orly. They're just talking. They're just vibing. Order. This is quite a piece of evidence to casually drop into our laps. It is the same way as I drop cold bowls of borscht on laps of customers. Casually. Oh yes, me coming around. Oh, hello. Oops. Then the court will casually accept this new evidence. I got the photo. Now, witness, where were you at the time of the murder? I was in room, the hideout we call it. Excuse me? The hideout? It is room where famous gangster bad guy... Really? Famous gangster bad guy was arrested. I wonder why he was arrested. Whose parent names them bad guy? Oh yes, what should we name our child? Bad guy. He's the bad guy, duh. His room where murder took place. What? You're looking for the surprise. It is lovely. I will post by courtroom door later for you. Photos will be numbered and you will write which ones you want copy of. So there were 3 people in the room at the time of the crime. Can bad guy have a redemption arc? And at the end he changes it to not bad guy or good guy. First name not, last name bad guy. There we go. So there were 3 people in the room at the time of the crime. The victim, Shady Smith, Mr. Wright, and Olga Orly, our witness. And if Mr. Wright isn't the killer, that means... Not bad guy. There we go, CB, that way. N-A-H-T, bad guy. Not bad guy. Very well, witness. You will testify to the court about that night's events. Alright, let's hear about that fateful night. That night, customer asked me to deal cards for game. It was cold. Both players played with hats on, da. The victim, he plays whole time with his hand on locket at his neck. Then last hand is done, but something terrible has happened, da. That man flew at victim and is strangling him to death. Strangling? Bad guy is good guy, not bad guy. Incidentally, who won the game? Isn't it obvious? The winner was the victim, Mr. Smith. That's ridiculous. Because Mr. Wright can't lose. Justice, maybe you can come up with a more legit objection. But he hadn't lost in 7 years. Take it from me, kid, it happens. I didn't lose a case my first 7 years as prosecutor, either. Incidentally, I have some evidence here. Wait, what? Excuse me, Miss and Princess, what? These are the poker chips as they lay the very moment of the crime. Oh no, the hand and chips on this side belong to the defendant, Mr. Wright. Those on the far side belong to the victim, Mr. Smith. You know, this will make a great thumbnail right here, but instead of lights, we need red arrows everywhere. We need red arrows. We need everything. Strangling, update that report. Wait, we need this photo right now. We need this photo. The autopsy report is outdated, Your Honor. That's what we need right now. Chips, you say? Duh, I mean, yes, imagine that poker is war. Your hand is your army, and the chips are the spoils.
I know that after all, in my youth, I was known as the poker head of courtroom number 3. I think he means poker face. Poker face, poker face.
Looking at this picture, it does seem that most of the chips are on the victim's side of the table. There we go, we got the chips. Very well, the defense may cross-examine the witness. Time to cross-examine. Alright, fateful night. That night, customer asked me to deal cards for game. Chips? Neat, I was hungry. Yummy, yummy. You were dealing cards. Do you do this often? Duh, I am doing this. If customer wishes it, I serve anything. Borscht, cards, more borscht, more cards, more borscht, more cards, more borscht, more cards, more borscht. Borscht cards, borscht cards, borscht. It is my work. It's good to hear of a place that hasn't forgotten the meaning of service. Welcome you to Borscht Club Bowl Club, where borscht is as warm as the waitresses. Ew. I don't want warm waitresses. Snowball. Ooh. Thank you for not handing out flyers during the cross-examination. Oh my goodness, she was selling out. Sell out! Just like a certain sloth, I guess. It's already April, how could it be cold? At Borscht Bowl Club, we have pride on authentic rustic Russian restaurant theme. Outside it is city and spring, but inside it is always as cold as Mother Russia. No way am I going there. When it comes to hot borscht, cold is best seasoning, da? So everything is just cold. The victim, he plays whole time with his hand on locket at his neck. His locket? I believe it was good luck charm, da? He gripped it many times as he played that night. Yes, he must have felt as though it might carry him to the moon and the stars. Though if it were small enough to fit around his neck, it wouldn't have much lift. The defense would like a clarification. This is a locket we're talking about. I mean a pendant with a picture in it, right? Not a rocket? Of course, I knew that. It was probably a pendant shaped like a rocket, that's why she called it that. No, a locket's a locket. It doesn't matter what shape it is. It's considered bad form to poke fun at the hard of hearing in our society. Hard of hearing or hard of understanding? So what happened next? Then last hand is done, but something terrible has happened, Something terrible? Ah! The defense will refrain from needless shouting. Sorry. I need to seriously reconsider this vocal training thing. Now, Miss Orley, can you tell us what happened? Oh, I was so frightened that I trembled with fear. That man flew at victim and strangling him to death. Wait, what? He was deaf by a single blow to forehead. No. This time I have to do it right. Alright, we're gonna do it right, everybody, alright? We're gonna do it right. We're gonna do the objection right. Alright, ready? Here we go.
Objection!
Perfect. Oh, really? Strangled, you say? That's odd. Normal customers only choke on borscht. No, I mean this report shows that the victim died of a blow to the head. Miss Orley, really now? Did you witness the crime? Oh, what? I saw a lobster in there. There was a lobster. Oh no, it's from the restaurant. The lobster. The Triple T set. I think that's what it is. Looking at the picture, it doesn't seem like he was hit. He's still wearing his hat and everything. Yet it is a fact that he was hit, Your Honor. Oh. Here's a photo we took of the victim with his hat off during our investigation. Well, that's quite shocking, isn't it? This head certainly was hit. It was hit. But I've seen it happen. The defendant, he lunged at victim, his neck. Oh, really, Miss Oh my goodness. I think it is O'Reilly. Oh, really, Miss O'Reilly? I think I've caught you in your own lie this time. This woman lied about being a witness so she could get pictures of a courtroom. That's sad. Justice, I admire your enthusiasm, but perhaps you should think this through once more. What do you mean? I found a contradiction. There's one thing in her testimony that troubles me. Very well. It seems we should have continued the cross-examination. There's such a thing as thinking too much. This horse is dead. Let's stop beating it. There's such a thing as thinking out loud too much, too. Wait, he can read my thoughts. Oh, wait. We did get another photo right here. Photo of forehead. The hat was removed, though. So let's see. Deal cards for the game. It was cold. Both players play with hats on, Doc. The victim, he plays whole time with his hand on locket at neck. Then the last hand is done, but something terrible has happened, After the defendant tried to strangle victim, he hit him with bottle. Go ahead, I believe you know what it is you need to do. Right, sir, please leave it to me. There were only 3 people in the room at the time of the murder. The victim, Shady Smith, Mr. Wright, and if Mr. Wright isn't the killer. I've got you now, oh really? Let's see. So, let's see. The thing is, there doesn't seem to be there's no strangulation marks. I don't see that anywhere. Let's see. It was cool. Both players play with hats on, The victim, he plays whole time with his hand on lock. Oh! What locket? There isn't a locket in there.
Objection!
You know, there was one curious part in the testimony just like Mr. Gavin said. But, what does it mean? Mr. Justice, would you care to explain what it is you're thinking so intensely about? Recall the testimony, Your Honor. The victim played with his hand on locket at his neck, I believe she said. I hope you aren't about to raise an objection to the witness's grammar. No, but look at this photograph. Doon, 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 look at this photograph. It only makes me want to laugh. Alright, see you, Arthur. Have a good sleep. Do you see a locket on the victim's neck? Well done, Justice. Look at this graph. Well done, Justice. I'm impressed. I knew you'd be able to handle this. But what does it mean? If we're to believe this witness's testimony as is, then the locket disappeared following the victim's death. Lockets don't just disappear, Your Honor. It's quite simple when you think about it. If the locket is gone, someone must have taken it off, no? Taken it off? Wait, you don't mean? The defendant wasn't strangling the victim at all. He was taking off his locket. Wouldn't that explain it? Irk. Yee? Defendant, what do you have to say to this? Oh, he's wearing a locket. Wait, so he's wearing the locket of the victim? Phoenix is a thief? Say, yes? I just noticed this, but you have something hanging around your neck, don't you? Oh, you mean this? Yes, it's a locket with a photograph inside. A photo of my daughter. Phoenix has a daughter? Hold on. When did Phoenix get a daughter? Where's the GF for the wife or something? Where is it? Come again? Mr. Wright, you have a daughter? We confirmed it at the time of the arrest. The picture in the locket is indeed Mr. Wright's daughter. So Mr. Wright has a locket too? Why don't I buy that this is just a coincidence? Well now, the results of this poker game led to the murder. Perhaps we should hear a bit more about the outcome of the game. Further testimony won't really be necessary. You told me Phoenix's head said Papa for a reason. If Kristoff was a princess, he would be Elsa? Is it because of the hair? It's clear the defendant lost badly. Oh, Miss O'Reilly. You will testify to the court about the game being played between the victim and defendant. Alright, time for game. Next game, let's do this. The game began with 3,500 points and chips for each man. House chips come in two sizes, small and large. The one who was winning, it was victim. For last hand, defendant play with all chips on table and lose. The moment loss was decided, defendant grabs bottle from table and loss happened. Indeed, looking at this picture. By the way, is it me or is the judge like looking down at us? I think he's looking at us from an angle, which makes sense. It looks like he's looking down at us. He's not looking straight up or anything, he's looking down. He's looking at me. His eyes. They are staring at me though. It does seem to be a one-sided game. As the court knows, poker was the defendant's life. Failure must have been a bitter pill to swallow. How many times have I heard these words? I've done it in a fit of anger, Your Honor, and now I regret what I've done. A common tale, but true. Methinks the judge watches too many old court movies. Mr. Wright said he hasn't lost in 7 years, so this testimony must be wrong. Cross-examination time.
The game began with 3,500 points and chips for each man. House chips come in two sizes. Oop! Oh, bumping me in the stink! Huh? Go! How we go back? How we go back?
Are those the usual starting points? Were any special rules used? No, not special. Usual game, usual rules. If each man... Hold on, Pixel Doll. Let me give you a better whoa. Like I said before, my throat is a bit, like, off right now because of last night's stream. So my voice is a bit deeper than usual. So... Woo! There you go. If each man began with 3,500 points, then the total would be... exactly 7,000 points. Please, this isn't calculus. It's not even long division. House chips come in two sizes, small and large. Are the chips in this photo all the chips that were used? Of course. Something's fishy with these chips. I get it, fishy with chips, fish with chips. I get it. That's funny. Maybe you could explain a bit about these chips? Explain? Last night's stream was that long? Last night's stream was about 5 hours? But there were many different games. It was the Sloth Roulette where I played like 4 different games. Explain, what is there to be explained? Poker chips are poker chips. They're not fish and chips, not a chip off the old block, not a motorcycle cop, not a... Thanks. The judge has galaxy brain, that's why he counted. He knows that 3,500 plus 3,500 is 7,000. Boof! Now that I pressed her, I better ask something. What are these chips worth? Are they in dollars or rubles or even? Niet, as I've been saying before, it was game, not gambling. Hard perhaps for capitalists to understand. socialism increases. 2 types of chip, 100 points and 1000 points chips. It is not money, da. Justice. Sir, don't you find her comment interesting? In more ways than one, sir. I'd have it added to her testimony myself. Well, does the defense want the witness to add it to her testimony? Yes, please. Yes, I do think this deserves further scrutiny. Add it to the testimony. I wish I knew where I was going with this. Very well, witness, if you would be so kind. Your Honor. Oh my, she was vibrating a lot. She was shaking. One kind of chip is worth 100. Other kind is worth 1,000. 2 kinds in all. Alright, everybody, we're gonna do some math. So if the small ones are 100 and the big ones are 1,000, let's count. There is about 10 big ones and 6 small. Wait, that's 10,600. What? That's not 7,000. Somebody has. This is 10,600. Are you telling me nobody here knows their math that well? Come on. This is easy math. I can see why people don't like me playing Trivia Murder Party with that math game. Math is my strong suit, but only simple math. I can't do calculus. Me with calculus, not great. So I think this deserves a big ol'
Objection!
There we go. You sure it was the victim who won? Baldi is getting very angry. Oh no. Absolutely sure? It seems our new attorney is a bit confused. A glance at the picture is enough to tell you who won, if you're not in kindergarten. Just for safety's sake, could you explain the problem to the court? Of course, Your Honor. In this photo, I see small chips and I see large chips. Tell me, which were worth 1,000 points? Why, the big ones, of course, duh. Oh, I thought so too, but then the totals don't add up. The totals? Let's review what the witness told us. Each man started with 3,500 points in chips, and the combined total value of the chips was 7,000 points. Yes, if my calculations are correct, let's see. 3 plus 1 carry the 5. They are, Your Honor. Now, look at this photo, and that allegedly shows all the chips. Oh, if you look at it differently, if the small chips are 1,000 and the big ones are 100, then it is 7,000. Because there are 10 big ones and 6 small ones. If the big chips are worth 1,000 points and the small chips are worth 100, and you add them up, how much is it? Do it yourself. You aren't in kindergarten, are you? 10,600 points. The chips don't add up. This clearly contradicts the testimony. But why? How could this be? Exactly, Justice. Now that you know the what, you must determine the why. Right, there's only one possible way to explain this contradiction. Let's see. Starting points were wrong, chip count was wrong, both were right. Let's see, the chip count was wrong. I'm gonna say chip count was wrong. The odd thing here is the number of chips, right, Mr. Oh, the number of chips, that's wrong. Why are you asking me? Just in case? Justice, it's your case I'm concerned about. If you're wondering about the chips, just look at the photograph. It's all there. Even our judge with his failing eyesight could count them. That's not the only thing failing the judge. Let me ask you again. Right, there's only one possible way. Both are right. Each man began the game with 3,500 points. If all the chips are indeed shown in this photograph, then there can only be one answer. Well, what is it? The value of the chips was the other way around. What? Want to know what I think? The small chips were worth 1,000 points, not the big ones. Madness, utter madness! Show me that photograph of the chips again. There are 6 small chips and 10 large chips. Why, that does make 7,000 points when you add them up. So Phoenix was winning. Excellent work, Justice. It's almost as though you figured it out by yourself. Well, I'm just glad I was the one who said it. But wait, the value of the chips may be different, but that changes nothing. Indeed, the victim did have the larger number of chips still. Wait. Exactly. If the small chips are 1,000 points and the large chips are 100, let's do a little math. Add up the points for each side of the table. The victim, Mr. Smith, had 2,900, and the defendant had 4,100. Well now, it seems that Mr. Wright was winning that night after all. That's impossible! My client had even less reason to kill the victim. After all, he was winning! Now, Miss O'Reilly, you must have known the true value of the chips, since you were there at the scene of the crime. Weren't you? Gotcha. She scream, ice cream for ice cream. It appears that the defendant has lost his motive, and Mr. Wright's supposed defeat never happened. We must now ask ourselves whether we can trust the witnesses to— Oh! What's going on now? Excuse me, what is it, Miss O'Reilly? I did not want to be saying this, but actually, you see, see what, Miss O'Reilly? What do we see? In the last hand, there was cheat. Uh-oh. A cheat? You don't mean a trick? Wait, or do you mean a scam? They're all the same thing. Yes, there was cheat in last hand. That is why game ends with chips as they are. Great, just great. First we have lying, now cheating, and now stealing, and now killing, and now dying, and now losing, and now losing. Well, this case certainly has taken a turn for the interesting. Witness, you will please testify to the court. Tell us about this cheating in the final hand. More testimony, hooray! That's what everybody needs right now. The last hand, both men had full house. Everywhere you go, There is 4 of each card in deck from ace to king. If you look at both men's hands, cheat is more obvious. The next moment, game becomes argument. The defendant's trick was exposed. He took bottle in his hand. Poor Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith? Stan Smith from American Dad? Miss O'Reilly, why did you not tell the court about this from the very beginning? I thought I smelled the cover up here. Well, folks, it's time to throw back the covers. Wait, hold on. I think there's something I found before that was very funny, but only if I could find it, though. Just give me a second while I try to look it up, though. Something that's not cringy, something that won't make people go, Pixel, why? Why would you show us that? Did I find something last night, or was that a memory? It might have been a memory because my history is just weird, silly videos. And then there's Steven Universe stuff. And then there's Runaway Guy stuff. And then Pokemon stuff. What the heck have I been watching, though? It's just a lot of random stuff, isn't it? I mean, of course, you don't see it, but it's just weird. It's just different things. And then I'm back to the Runaway Guys again. Well, I thought I had something. Or maybe it's on my Twitter that I like something. I don't know. Wait, what's this here? Oh, it's Phoenix Wright doing Boomer. Of course it is. Oh wait, I think people would like to see that. It's probably this one here. Give me the right thing. Is it this one? Yeah, there we go. Here it is. Enjoy this video.
Take that!
There you go. That was Phoenix Wright explaining OK Boomer right there. A full house is a very high-scoring hand. Not easy to make, in my experience. That alone is enough to suspect less than scrupulous tactics. Mr. Gavin? What's a full house? It's a TV show. Lawyers these days, you don't know your poker? I can't say this bodes well for your case or career. What is this, some kind of secret court poker ring? Yes. Justice, you know the terms one pair, two pair, and three of a kind, yes? Yeah, no problem. Two cards with the same number makes a pair, and three makes a three of a kind. Good, now picture a hand with one pair and one three of a kind. That's a full house. That doesn't sound very easy to make, does it? You can see each player's hand in this photo. Wow, they both have full houses. We forget, there's an easy way to make a full house and go undefeated for 7 years. You cheat. Ooh, the defense may cross-examine the witness. If he did cheat in the last hand, that still leaves one important question. Mr. Wright lost that hand. Who's ever heard of a professional con man losing when they cheat? I don't know. Maybe it was me. Maybe I cheated. The final hand. The last hand, both men had full house. Just how hard it is to make a full house anyway. It is quite hard, Da. It is making a pair and three of a kind at the same time. I guess that's right. Very difficult to be sure. You can take my word as the poker head of courtroom number 3. Very difficult, Da, but it's not impossible. It's getting very hot in here. Okay, full house, hard. This line of questioning a waste of time. There was 4 of each card in deck from ace to king. 4 of each card, you say? Duh, there was 1 spade, 1 diamond, 1 heart, and 1 club for each card. It is an interesting fact that this number 4 comes from number of seasons. Huh? You don't say. And did you note that the cards are numbered 1 through 13? Add all of the cards in the deck and you get 364. A year! Huh, you don't say. Isn't that 1 day short? That's why each deck has 2 jokers. They say the second joker stands for the leap year and the first joker stands for Persona 5. Thus you have a perfect representation of the year, all in a deck of cards. Huh, you don't say. We're going to be in this courtroom for a year if it keeps going like this. If you look at both men's hands, cheat is more obvious. How was it clear? Well, the defendant, he played a 5th ace. A 5th ace? I still remember both hands very well. Mr. Smith's hand had 3 aces. And Mr. Wright's 2. Obviously cheating was afoot, or perhaps I should say, a hand. Your Honor, perhaps this can be added to the testimony, without Mr. Payne's joke. Very well, the witness will add this detail to her testimony, please. Wait, was it really 5 aces? Let's go check that photo real quick. Wait, I don't see 5 aces. There's only 4 aces. What is with this obvious blatant lie? Everybody's lying. I'm lying. So many aces. Let's go with this one. Objection! There we go. It appears the witness is mistaken. Mistaken? But my name... I get it. Mistaken? No, I'm not mistaken. I'm Oh, really? Oh, really? Yeah, really? Look, this piece of evidence clearly contradicts what you said in your testimony. That's the photo of the chips, is it not? Justice, perhaps you ought to explain your point in a way that the judge can comprehend. In other words, use your finger to point out your point. Yes, please point out the contradiction in this photo. Which particular point contradicts the witness's testimony? Wait, let's see. Is it the 7s, the aces, 2 aces, 4 aces, 3 kings? There's the aces, the 7s. The aces over... Is it the aces over here? Miss O'Reilly, in your testimony, you made the following claim. Mr. Smith's hand had 3 aces. Oh, but there's only 2 aces but 3 kings. But as you can clearly see, the victim's hand only held 2 aces. Ah! Well, maybe the witness was simply confused. Perhaps it was the defendant's hand that held the 3rd ace in question. Take another look at the evidence. As you can see, the defendant has also 2 aces in his hand. Where's this 5th ace? I see cheating alright, and I see it's going on right here in this courtroom. 2 aces in each player's hand does make 4 aces total. Hardly proof of cheating. Wait, please. It is true, I have seen it. The 5th ace. There was cheating, I swear to you. That's odd. She must be lying, yet she's the most sincere I've seen her all day. You're right to trust your instincts. Mr. Gavin? Who knows what lies in store for us in the trial ahead? Your Honor, if I may, I have a suggestion. What might that be, Mr. Gavin? If you don't mind, perhaps we might examine the actual cards? The cards? Mr. Payne. Yes? The players' hands that night were all set aside as evidence, were they not? The defense would like to request that the cards be shown to the court. Very well, the prosecution will submit this evidence. Which will you examine? The victim's cards or the defendant's cards? If these cards don't prove cheating was going on, nothing will. Now, which of these hands is more suspicious? Let me check the victim's hand first. It was the victim's hands that changed over the course of the witness's testimony. The defense requests time to examine Mr. Smith's cards. Very well, Mr. Payne, if you would. Very well. I got the hand. Well, time's a wasting. Get to it, Justice. Yes, sir. I'm not doing anything. It's doing it by itself. When examining evidence, be sure to view it from all sides and angles. Try using the dials on the evidence viewer. That should give you a better perspective on the case. Okay, let's do this. Alright, so we rotate and... Wait a minute. The victim was cheating. There's a blue card in the mix. As much as I love blue, but really now. Let's take a closer look. Closer. We need a closer look at these cards. Is it really blue? What? Your Honor, look at this. One of the victim's cards. The back is a different color. That's impossible. But I put that card in right hand. Oh. What was that, Miss O'Reilly? No, Nyan, I merely said da. I have eek. I have a eeky. Alright, hold on.
Olga O'Reilly has been exposed. Awful.
Somebody has been exposed, and it was not me or Phoenix, it was Olga O'Reilly. Your Honor, Mr. Gavin, yes? Tell me, what is the easiest way to cheat at poker? To cheat? I'll tell you. One merely needs a friend, a comrade, shall we say, the dealer. Ah. Wait, so you mean this witness, Miss O'Reilly, she's the cheater, a professional, I'd wager. Yeah! She's really good at catching those things, though. Order! Focus, Justice. Time to take advantage of her. I mean, of her mistake. Apollo, what the heck? Your Honor, please recall the testimony we just heard. That's impossible, but I put that card in right hand. Ergo, Miss Olga O'Reilly conspired to cheat, not with my client, but with the victim, Mr. Shady Smith. Oh! That is some good music, though. That is good music. Ah! Not only did she cheat, she cheated poorly. Therefore, it's not hard to imagine an altercation between her and the victim. What? Why is this music so good? Wait, you don't mean the defense isn't accusing the witness, Ms. Olga O'Reilly, are you? Time for justice. There were 3 people in the room at the time of the incident, and if Mr. Wright isn't guilty, that means I am. The defense accuses the witness, Ms. Olga O'Reilly, of murder. Ah! Oh. The food! It's fine. Oh, thank goodness the food did not die. Mr. Payne, where's your witness, Miss Olga O'Reilly? It appears she has lost, consciousness, Your Honor. Wait, is that it? Did I win? Mr. Justice? Your Honor, it seems you presented a new possibility to the court. One suggesting a connection between the witness and the victim, Mr. Smith. And that means this court cannot pronounce a verdict for the defendant at this time. What? I did it. I held out. Yay, I see no point in prolonging the trial this day. The prosecution will need to make further inquiries. Oh, wait, that was Phoenix's voice. What? Mr. Wright? You can't end the trial here, Your Honor. Not yet. What nonsense is the defendant spouting out now? Spewing out? Think, one of the cards had a different colored back. Don't you wonder what it means? What are you doing, Mr. Wright? Raising objections right when you're about to get off the hook? Ridiculous! Mr. Payne, you of all people should know. Mr. Wright has a talent for the ridiculous. For the insane. Perhaps we should get to the bottom of things. Let's clear up the facts about the game that fateful night. As was said before, we alternated between 2 decks of cards that night. That was said before. The 2 decks at the club have different colored backs, blue and red. 1 color per deck. Why use different colored backs? If we use the same color, the 2 decks might get mixed. You use different colors and they still got mixed up. We used the red deck for the game last night, for the last game. I see, but that's odd. For some reason, I have this impression that you were using the blue cards. Yeah, me too. I'm sure someone said something about blue cards. Whatever, in the end, 1 card of the wrong color got into the mix. Which means there was cheating. Yes, a card slipped into the deck would seem to indicate cheating. Yet this card raises 2 serious questions. Apollo? Yes? Let's consider the first question, shall we? Think, in the last game, when was the card swapped? When? There are 3 broad possibilities here. It could have been swapped before the murder, during the murder, or after the murder. Well, yeah, thanks for the news bulletin, Mr. Wright. Of course it will swap... Oh? It might be as simple as you think, Mr. Payne, or it might not be. I'd like to hear what Apollo thinks first. When do you think the cards were swapped? When was the card swapped into the deck? It couldn't be before, because I don't think, otherwise it would have been worse. During the murder or after the murder? Maybe it could have been... during the murder? No, it can't be during... Maybe in the shock. You think after? It could be after, though. Let me try during. Well, weren't they swapped during the murder? During the murder? Tell me, exactly when is that? Huh? Well, the very moment of the act, I guess. Would that be the moment the cards were shown? Or perhaps the moment when the cheater was revealed? Or maybe the very moment the bottle came down on Mr. Smith's head? Could I have a moment? That moment could cost you this case. Sorry, let me rethink this. Okay, that was a bad choice. After. Perhaps it happened after the murder? What's that? Ridiculous. What's the point of cheating after the hands have been shown? That's silly. Yes, but tell me, how do you swap cards during the game? I'll take silly over impossible. Take it from me, son. There's a lot of silly in this world, but very little impossible. Oh? Even when the backs of the cards are a different color? If you pulled that during the game, you'd be caught in no time. Ah, quite true. That would mean the blue card in question was swapped after the hands were shown, after the murder. Okay, this is going past silly and straight on to crazy. I ask again, what's the point of cheating after the game's over? Who would do that? Who indeed? That's one of the mysteries before us. There's another? Yes, a simple yet decisive question must be asked. Who swapped a red card for a blue card? Me. Who? The game and murder is done. The victim is dead. Only two remain in the room. Alive, that is. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, and our witness, Olga O'Reilly. Okay, so who was it that swapped the red card for a blue? Who else did it? Could it be Olga? Why, it must have been Olga O'Reilly who swapped the cards. She was trying to cover up evidence of the cheating. That does make some sense. What? Sorry, but there's a problem with that explanation. Huh? The swap card was from the wrong deck. Yes, the blue card was stuck into a red hand. Mixing a card from the wrong deck when the backs are different colors. Remember that you're talking about Olga O'Reilly. She was the dealer. Do you really think she would make such a novice mistake? Actually, I have trouble imagining even the judge making that mistake. Give it a little more thought, Apollo. Right. Okay, so who was it that swapped the red card for a blue? It can't be Phoenix Wright, so it might be someone else? The one who swapped the cards wasn't Mr. Wright, of course. And, well, it doesn't seem like it could have been Olga O'Reilly either. Then what are you suggesting? That's hardly a logical conclusion, I admit. As the defense, I think it only makes sense for you to name Miss O'Reilly at this point. Yes, I know. But she was the one who dealt the cards, right? I just can't believe she would make the mistake of swapping the wrong color card. And if the card was swapped during the game, it'd be obvious. Heh. Something you'd like to share with the court, Mr. Wright? Oh, my apologies, Your Honor. I was just thinking how much fun all this is. Fun? Fun? How about confusing? I have no idea what the defense is claiming, Your Honor. If the one who swapped the card wasn't the defendant, and it wasn't O'Reilly, then who was it? Yeah. Well, that is the question, isn't it? Precisely. Huh? I believe we're about to see this case take a new direction. A new direction? You might say a one direction. We'll find that indeed after the murder. Someone swapped one of the cards in the victim's hands, and that someone made two critical mistakes. I'm sure you're gonna tell us that the first was swapping the wrong color card, because the one who did the swap didn't know two colors of cards were being used. The other mistake was the number on the card. Right. The person replaced the fifth ace with a king. I'm sure whoever swapped it wasn't expecting there to be a fifth ace after all. All they knew was that the game had been won with a full house. So they picked up a king from the table and swapped it in. But there's one problem. According to our case record, this person doesn't exist. True, not until now, but you have to admit the possibility of a fourth person. Though it's more than a possibility. There was someone else there that night at the scene of the crime. What? Oh boy. I believe the judge spoke truthfully earlier. You do make trials ridiculous, Mr. Wright. Oh. This trial has proceeded on one central assumption, namely that at the time of the incident, there were only 3 people in that room. I believe this new evidence, shall we say, overturns that assumption. The problem is that you chose to conceal this info from the court. I suppose that is a problem, yes. Court is adjourned for a brief recess. Mr. Gavin, I'll see you in my chambers during this recess. Certainly, Your Honor. Very well, the trial will resume in 20 minutes. Wait, oh, I was about to say. Why is the typing so fast, though? That was quite unexpected, Mr. Wright. To suddenly claim there was another person at the scene of the crime like that. I must ask, is it the truth? Well now, I think you would know the answer to that. Let it go, Mr. Wright. Let it go, let it go! Oh, my throat. It's getting to that point where it's starting to get a bit raspy. Like I feel it. Being mysterious, are we? Sadly, I have no time for mysteries. I only ask that you leave the defending to your defense in the future. Otherwise, I cannot guarantee the outcome. I see you haven't mellowed out one bit, Kristoff. Just so they know each other. Justice. Oh wait, yeah. Kristoff did say that the client is a good friend of his. I should have remembered that. Yes, sir. The judge has summoned me to his chamber, so carry on without me. You did well, Apollo. Can I ask you something? Sure. That locket you wear, is that really yours, Mr. Wright? Ah, you're wondering about the victim's disappearing locket. Hey, Kyo, you're here after a 2-hour drive home? How you doing, Kyo? Do you like Apollo Justice? Do you like me realizing that Phoenix Wright covered his hair with a hat so I can't look at his beautiful hair anymore? I can't look at that beautiful hair anymore. He's like me. My hair is covered up. My lack of hair. I should look like this for every other stream right now. I look weird. Is this blind? Kyo? Yes, it's blind as heck. I played through the trilogy blind, and now I'm playing through this blind. You can take a look at it. That's a picture of my daughter in there. Let me look at his daughter. Oh, she's so sweet. I'm just surprised to hear you had a daughter. Same here. Most people are. Perhaps you'll meet her one of these days. One more question. The one who cheated that night, was it you? What do you think? Huh? You know what happened 7 years ago. What I did. It's not unreasonable for you to think I might cheat. Wait. So 7 years ago he Did he do something to... I guess I'll find out from what the chat told me. From what all of you in the chat told me. Okay, I'll find out later on, I guess. I never. Honest, but... It is odd that he managed to go undefeated for 7 whole years. Want to know something? There's only one game where you can be dealt bad cards all night and still win. Poker. Eh? You see, poker is all about reading your opponent. In that way, it's a lot like a court case. Poker is like trial law? Figure out what your opponent is thinking, and you win. Well, yeah, but that's harder than it sounds. I think not. By the way, everybody enjoying the stream so far? I just really hope so, because my voice, my throat is... I sound different because of how my throat is right now. I just want to know if everybody's okay right now. I'm a warrior, so I'm sorry. Try as they might to conceal it, everyone reveals their true thoughts in the end. Their body language can become a valuable source of information. You're kidding! That witness, for instance, Miss O'Reilly. She would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Oh wait, so we have to look at people's reactions? Did you notice? No. Come on, who noticed that? Words, habits, twitches, Twitch! He said Twitch! It's all info for the reading. That's the secret to winning, Apollo. Someone taught me, and now I pass the secret on to you. Oh, someone taught you, like with the Magatama, right? But I'm not worthy. I mean, there's no way I'll pick up on these signals. No, you can do it. Huh? You just don't know it yet. What's he talking about? But you will. Soon. Ah, almost forgot. One more thing. About this case. You should know, I haven't told the truth to anyone yet. What? I knew it! I have my reasons, of course. All shall be revealed. If you keep watching me, I'm gonna be your favorite streamer? What is that supposed to mean? I'm nobody's favorite. And Apollo, I need you to be there defending me. I need your power. My, power? I had no idea my cores of steel were that special. It's time. The real trial begins now. Do your best. Oh boy. Wait, to be continued on a first trial? Has that ever happened before? Oh wow, that new theme right there. Alright, let's continue on. Let's finish this first case, though. Even though my throat is a bit off, let's finish this first case, though. I gotta see what happens. Let's continue it. Court will now reconvene. Has our witness, Miss Olga O'Reilly, recovered? Yes, Your Honor. Well, she's regained consciousness. Perhaps we can hear her version of the events again. That's the thing, you see. She's quite fatigued. You're looking a bit fatigued yourself, Mr. Payne. Sadly, fatigue is insufficient grounds for refusing to testify or prosecute. The defense would like to request that Miss O'Reilly take the stand. Very well. The witness will take the stand. I still have a long way to go to end this trial. Alright, let's do it though. Perhaps you could repeat your name or profession. Or perhaps you'd rather admit that you're a poor liar and a poor loser. Not. Wait, what? What happened to the food? That's like me just going, I'm not a sloth. I'm actually a human. That is quite a change right there. Holy heck. How is she hiding all... isn't she hot? Wearing that underneath all that coat? Wow, she really changed up right now. Name's Olga O'Reilly, that's the truth. I'm a pro dealer. Perhaps people call me Olga Quickfingers O'Reilly. Oh. Oh, really? Want to know something else? I'm not really Russian, and my last name sounds like oh really. You don't say. You don't say. You don't say. Dear, that's the truth. I hope you're satisfied. I'm not. Witness, you will tell the court what you were really up to that night. Fine, I'll talk. We had a plan, see? Let me remind you that you are currently under oath. Any further fabrications will have serious consequences. Fine. Fine. Like I said, I'm a pro. That guy, Smith, hired me to do what I do best. I was planning at the Borscht Bowl Club several days prior to the night of the game. As a waitress. So you were in cahoots with the victim. That's a lot of damage. Not that he needed my help. Smith is a well-known poker player in some circles, but winning wasn't the main purpose of the game. It was about destroying a legend, the unbeatable Phoenix Wright. The plan was simple, elegant really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When their hands were revealed, Smith will call him out and search Wright. He would then pull out the planted card and the trap would snap shut. Oh, you swapped the cards! Exposed as a cheater and losing on top of it, it would have made a great double play. Just like that, the legend will be dashed to pieces. Indeed. Getting caught red-handed at cheating will cast doubt on all his prior wins. A 7-year legend destroyed by one little card. That was the plan. And they failed. Oh really, oh really? Why? Why is this game getting memey all of a sudden? Ew! Ugh. How droll. But it appears you made quite the mistake. A mistake? I agree, the trap was elegant. Yet, what happened to that planted card? Hey, that's right. He's lucky, I'll give him that. You'd have to be to slip free from a trap laid by Olga Quickfingers O'Reilly. Oh, really? Stop! The witness would be much cuter if she dispensed with the evil mastermind's shtick. Cute? Who wants to be cute? Me? I'm not cute, I'm bad, you hear me? Bad. I'm bad. When you're through being bad, perhaps you could testify to the court? Tell us about this trap and how it was sprung. Let's continue on. Woo! That night, I planted the card like I was supposed to. And Wright lost the last hand just like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him. But the planted card was gone. The trap failed. The next moment, Wright picked up a bottle and swung it. It wasn't me who hit Smith, it was that no-good cheating defendant. But he won. A surprisingly frank testimony that still leaves us mostly in the dark. The trap was perfect, I tell you, perfect, if that rotten cheater hadn't messed it up. Look who's talking! Well, the testimony, for what it's worth, is all yours, Mr. Justice. With witnesses like her, who needs criminals? And with defendants like Mr. Wright, who needs prosecutors? And with streamers like Pixel, who needs viewers? That night I planted the card like I was supposed to. This planted card, which was it exactly? The trump card, the 5 of hearts. Let me guess, Mr. Wright was to have switched the 5 with the ace to make a full house. At least that's what you were going to accuse him of doing, thereby ruining his legend. I slid into Wright's pocket. When was this? Why, before the match, of course, while he was eating. At the Borscht Bowl Club, we saw Borscht and suckers. Remind me to never go there. Of course, the card was to make its grand debut during the game. Like a good borscht, a good plot must be cooked up early and allowed to thicken. And Wright lost the last hand just like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him. So, everything went according to plan. Exactly. The 5th ace came up, so it's obvious the switch went off without a hitch. Once the extra card was found in his pocket, Wright would be forever known as a cheat and a fraud. There are worse things to be known as, I suppose. Tell us what happened with the search. But the planet card was gone, the trap failed. The card disappeared? Yeah, my trump card, the 5 of hearts. Gone, without a trace. Poof, Zippo! We searched every nook and cranny, even inside his cute little hat. Aw, it is cute. But the card was nowhere to be found, is this correct? Never in my long, storied career, never has Quick Fingers O'Reilly have been so readily duped. Oh, really? So, what did happen to that 5 of hearts? Don't look at me, why don't you ask that cheating, lying, two-faced defendant? So the 5 of hearts is still missing in action. The next morning, Wright picked up a bottle and swung it. Wait, the hand is on the back of her neck. Wait, isn't that a little odd? What's odd? You searched Mr. Wright, thoroughly and found nothing. Which means he didn't cheat, which means he had no reason to strike the victim. Well... Oh my goodness, what was that? What was that just now? I sensed something. Something wrong, Mr. Justice? No, nothing, Your Honor. What to do? Should I press her a little harder? Sure. Miss O'Reilly, you're hiding something. What are you talking about? You? Me? Quick Fingers O'Reilly hide something? The defense will refrain from baseless accusations. I have one question for the witness then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true? Of course it's true. I did see it, honest. I saw when Wright hit him. Oh, there it is again. With my own eyes, I saw it. What's this weird vibe I'm getting? I'm vibing over here. That witness, for instance, Miss O'Reilly, she would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice? Oh, touching her neck, was it? Oh my goodness, why do I see close up to her face? What is this? Whoa, what's going on? This sensation, it's coming into focus. There, that twitch is so clear. It's like I could perceive her habit like I couldn't before. The zoom lens? Oh, just perceive? Okay. Gotcha. So I gotta find out their twitches too? I used the zoom lens? Miss O'Reilly, perhaps you are unaware of this yourself. Unaware of what? Whenever you get to a certain part of your testimony, you touch the back of your neck with your left hand. My neck? So what? What indeed, Justice? I hadn't noticed anything of the sort. When she says that part of the testimony, Yes, you have to find their Twitches and then follow them. I gotcha, CV. Gotta follow the Twitches. When she says that part of the testimony, she's subconsciously recalling something. Her body reacts to the memory, and she touches her neck. I'm sure of it. A memory? Would someone care to explain what he's babbling about? This is highly unusual, but let's ask the defense. You claim the witness is remembering something. Maybe you have evidence of this memory to show us? Her habit is scratching her neck whenever she talks about the moment of the crime. So what will remind her most of the moment of the crime? Miss O'Reilly, whenever you recall the crime that night, you scratch your neck. I've noticed it happens when you think about the moment of the crime. There must be some reason behind this habit of yours. I believe the weapon that left an erasable impression on your neck is this. The weapon that left an impression was the deadly bottle. Take that! Whenever she talks about the moment of the crime, she touches her neck. And what reminds us more of the moment than this bottle? The murder weapon. But something doesn't fit. If you were only the witness to the crime, if you were only the witness to the crime, why would that make you touch your neck like you're in pain? What's he talking about now? It was Mr. Smith, the victim who was hit, not you. This is a cross-examination, not a cross-wall conjecture. The witnesses' habits? They're completely irrelevant. Justice, I'll admit, I'm a bit confused myself. This is certainly a unique cross-examination. I'll explain later, just trust me, now's our only chance to break her. To destroy her completely. Miss O'Reilly, please testify in detail about the moment of the crime, about the moment of the crime, the very moment. Wait, what? How'd she put the clothes back on? Like, when Apollo was what? Did she just put her clothes on as Apollo was talking? We know you're not Russian. The witness will testify, please, now. Fine. Well, oh, the music's getting intense. He's the one who did it. I didn't let him out of my sight until the cops got there. You seem uneasy. You try sitting up here. Her eyes are darting all over the place. I must be getting warm. Tell me, after the crime, what was the defendant like? Well, he must have been stunned by the weight of his crime. He sat in a daze at that table until the cops came. Intriguing. I believe you've gotten all the testimony you're going to get out of this witness. So what do you think about her testimony? I'll tell you what I think. Her testimony is flawed. Because the thing is, it's because it said that Phoenix had to leave to call on the cell phone. I remember that part. It contradicts the evidence. What's that? Well, show us this evidence, Mr. Justice. This evidence that you claim contradicts the testimony. She didn't let him out of her sight until the cops got there. I know there's some evidence that contradicts that. The cell phone. Because he had to go to the first floor to call him. Yeah! That worked. Miss O'Reilly, we have a record here that clearly contradicts what you said. It states that the police were alerted by a report from the defendant. Eh? And we know that the defendant left the room, climbed the stairs, and made that phone call from the first floor of the Borscht Bowl Club. So, explain how you kept your eyes on the defendant when he left the room entirely. Ah! Selfies! She took a couple of selfies, that was cool. The man who picked up a bottle and swung it that night wasn't the defendant. Oh, we're going back to this. We're going back to the intro. Alright, so are we gonna see something different this time? Showdown time. You dirty cheat! Check his pockets, now! It's gone! The card's gone! You lose. Ah! Just then, Smith grabbed the bottle from next to right. Hold on, there's something in my sock. What the heck is stabbing me in the sock? How the heck did this get in my sock? It's like a sharp rock. Ow. Just then, Smith grabbed the bottle from next to right, and he hit me. You, some master of cheating you turned out to be. Oh. Ouch. When I came to, the victim was already dead. Is that it? Dang, Olga got smacked. Ouch. That's why I couldn't reveal who I really was. If it came out that I was in league with Smith, I'd be a suspect for sure. Well, where does this leave us? Madness. This is madness. This is Sparta. I'm dreaming. It must have been me who was hit with a bottle, and I'm imagining all of this. It appears our prosecution is at its wit's end, and frankly, I can't blame him. Mr. Gavin, what do you think about this turn of events? Mr. Gavin? Sir? I believe that, as the defense in this case, we are compelled to call Miss O'Reilly a big fat liar. What? Fat? There were 3 who were in that room the night of the murder, the defendant, victim, and her. And she has a motive. A motive? Her plot foiled. The witness got into an argument with her client, Mr. Smith. And the announcement of that argument was murder. What? I'm no killer. It's a trap. Someone's trying to frame me. Uh-oh. What tangled webs we weave when we practice to deceive. So tangled we catch ourselves in the process. Mr. Wright? Such a hasty conclusion. It's not like you, Christoph Gavin. What are you saying? Why not consider the other possibility? That there was another person in the room at the time of the murder. Right, like Mr. Wright was saying before recess. A single card was swapped into the victim's hand after the murder, and the one who swapped the card didn't know 2 colors of cards were being used. A 4th person. This theory again. Your 4th person doesn't exist. Indeed. That's why I decided to bring this case to court. Here, where there's no escape and no chance for deception. The perfect place to catch the real criminal. The real criminal? And we're in luck. A clue to the real criminal's identity was kindly provided for us. And right at the beginning of the trial, no less. What? Apollo, perhaps you know what I'm talking about. Sorry. Remember what I said. The 4th person who swapped the cards made one critical error. He or she wasn't considering the color on the backs of the cards. Right. But how could such an obvious mistake occur? The cards used for the last game were red. Yet, there is one person here in our court who thought those cards were blue. Yeah, I had that impression too, but why? Well, Apollo, think you can figure out who it was? Hold on. My throat is getting coffee. It's not me, I swear. Who is this 4th person? Why do I always get put on the spot like this? Let's hear what the defense has to say. Who was it? Who thought the cards used in the final game were blue? Can I say Winston Payne? Apollo, do you seriously think that? I think I'm seriously confused. I'm seriously sorry. That didn't go well. Well, it can't be helped. I almost missed it myself. But it doesn't do anyone any good to turn their eyes away from the truth. Does it, Christoph? So it's Christoph who was there. I mean, well, if you give me this many people, and it's not the dead guy, and it's not her, and it's not Phoenix. So my mentor's in this. Mr. Gavin? You don't mean... Christoph Gavin, you were the 4th person that night. But of course Mr. Gavin knows the color of the cards. How would he? As you can see, the photo of the crime scene is black and white. You can't tell which of the colors are blue, the ones on the floor or the table. But look! You can see the colors in this photo! Yes, but when he said the cards were blue, it was well before this evidence came to light. It is true that the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim, yet it was only that, a game, in the purest sense. A competition, Your Honor. A competition? Yes, a test of wits, a selling clash of passions. Only the cards, their backs wreathed in blue flame, know its final outcome. Oh, well, Kristoff? Mr. Gavin? Mr. Gavin, is something the matter? No, nothing, excuse me. It was just so sudden. Right, you aren't seriously accusing me, are you? Oh, Kristoff? You know, even I never take a joke this far. Oh, man. This has gone beyond ridiculous, beyond dumb. This is an insanity. Oh my goodness, CB, I forgot about the flashback voice. Oh, I gotta remember that next time. Thank you for reminding me. I forgot about that. Flashback voice whenever that happens, if there's another flashback. Oh, that's the save button. I was wondering what that button was. No, don't go back to the title screen. I was wondering what that was. The defendant accusing his own defense attorney of murder? I assure you, I'm quite sane. But what possible connection could Mr. Gavin have to the victim? I wasn't aware that I had a connection to Mr. Smith either. Yes, but Mr. Gavin and the victim had never even met. Well, what if they have? Huh? There is a possibility, after all. They might have met that night before the game started. What are you suggesting? Is this the truth Mr. Wright was staying silent about? Well, only one thing to do. Mr. Wright, the defense would like to request that you testify to the court. Objection! The defense would like to request no such thing. Mr. Gavin? Testimonies must relate to the case. How could anything happening before that game of poker be related? He's hiding something. He's being really suspicious right now. I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Gavin. As I explained before, the defense believes that Miss O'Reilly. Am I to assume you speak for Mr. Justice in this? He is the defense, not you. Mr. Justice, the matter of Mr. Wright's testimony is up to you. Oh, okay. Does the court, in your opinion, need to hear Mr. Wright's testimony? Heck yes, we do. This was Mr. Wright's strategy. He was planning this all along, and I intend to see it through. The defense would like to request that Mr. Wright testify to the court. Let me do that again. The defense would like to request that Mr. Wright testify to the court. Testify. Et tu, Justice? You would betray me, your teacher? I'm sorry, Mr. Gavin. This isn't about loyalty. This is about the truth. Very well, the defendant, Mr. Wright, will take the stand, please. Appetite before murder, yum yum. That evening, Kristoff and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photograph. Shady Smith walked in 5 minutes after Kristoff left. When the trap failed, Smith hit the waitress. The girl was knocked out cold and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. That was when I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin. So wait, if he suspected Gavin, then why call him? You were at the Borscht Bowl Club the night of the murder? I dined with him rather frequently. And he talked to the defendant on the phone directly after the murder? Quite against my will, I have become involved in a murder. I thought I might be in need of a lawyer, so I called him. You were planning this all along, weren't you, Wright? Just because you wanted to drag me into your little murder trial. Oh, Phoenix just laid a trap out and he just fell for it. The only thing I want is the truth. As I did back then, and now. I thought my office was doing you a favor when we took on your defense. It appears that I was wrong. Very well, the defense may cross-examine the witness. Justice. Sir, he's lying, and you're going to expose him. Expose Phoenix Wright. Understood, sir. Mr. Gavin versus Mr. Wright. This can't end well. Why can't I have a normal trial? Please let this be a normal trial. With Phoenix Wright? No way! Aww. Going down to court with your Phoenix Wright by hand. Why can't this be a normal trial? With the right? No way! That evening, Kristoff and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photograph. With the phase? No! You had dinner with Mr. Gavin? Yes, he danced with me at the Borscht Bowl Club quite frequently. We were enjoying a usual dinner at our usual spot, as usual. Usual? I always eat at the table closest to the piano, so I can look at Mr. Gavin while playing the piano, go like this. So, you enjoying the music, Mr. Gavin? No, Phoenix, you suck. I see where Mr. Smith was sitting. So the plates and such on the table were from your dinner. Indeed, the remnants of my meal were Kristoff. We done for 2 hours, then Kristoff left. After that, Shady Smith walked in 5 minutes after Kristoff left. 5 minutes? So the two of them could have passed in the restaurant during that time. That would have been a fateful encounter, to be sure. Oh, Mr. Wright, what was it you said? Kristoff Gavin and Shady Smith may have met? I believe I did say that. Here I was all nervous about this meeting, and now we hear they just passed in the hall? That does seem a little weak as a pretense for murder. Oh, it would be, if that was all that really happened. Come on, Mr. Wright, what are you hiding this time? When the trap failed, Smith hit the waitress. About this failed trap, this is the same trap that Miss Ogle really mentioned. The plan was simple, elegant, really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When their hands were revealed, Smith will call him out and search Wright. He will then pull out the planted card and the trap would snap shut. You swap the cards. Just like that, the legend will be dashed to pieces. There's your flashback, Mute. There's your flashback. Yes, a harmless prank, and it's just a prank, brah. Just a prank. Just a prank. Don't kill me, brah. It's just a prank. It was by a quirk of fate that I happened to discover it. A quirk? My Hero Academia. I happened to put my hand in my pocket and found a card. It said, call Pixels by night if you ever need a bad stream. The card she planted? Oh wait, do I have... Oh wait, the cards. Cards. Phoenix Wright looked in his pocket, and he found my business card. There's my joke. He found my business card. It's been a while since I brought out my business card. Man, does it look good though. Whoa! Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found it was the 5 of hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card before the game. Disposed? Where? There was an empty bottle of grape juice I had been drinking right beside me. I threw it in the card beside the bottle. I threw the card inside the bottle. An empty bottle of grape juice. The murder weapon? Oh yes, the card needs to be soaked in grape juice, of course, and then swelled up with juice and eat it. Grape card. Yes, I rolled it up and shoved it in. The color glass makes it hard to see. A battle of wits between the deceiver and the would-be deceived. That sounds like terrific drama. A card inside the murder weapon? That's strange. Did the police miss it in their investigation? Maybe I'll take a look. Mr. Wright, the poker head of courtroom number 3 approves of this battle of wits. Please revise your testimony with this new info. I discovered the trap during the game and disposed of the card in the bottle. I mean, this bottle right here? Bottle? Mr. Wright, if I may. Yes? I've examined the bottle and I don't see any card in here. No? What, Mr. Wright? Surely ... isn't all you have to say for yourself. I can't say that I know what happened to the card. I did put it in that bottle, however. Huh? Perhaps a 5th person came and took it out. Oh, and a 6th person could have helped. And then a 7th person made out with the 5th person. And then the 3rd person died. Mr. Gavin, Mr. Wright is your client. My apologies, Your Honor. I won't have you disparaging our case. I won't have you disparaging our investigation either. We looked inside that bottle. There was nothing. So what's going on? Is Mr. Wright hoodwinking us again? Or did the car just disappear? It dissolved in grape juice. No, grape juice isn't that acidic. In any case, please continue the cross-examination. I'm afraid decisive contradictions call for decisive evidence. Oh. Push him harder, Justice. Break him. It's just you and the witness in the ring. Go for the KO. Oh, why do I get the feeling we're not on our client's side anymore? Gavin is acting very weird now. Oh, we're back here now? Let me get back to the fourth one. The girl was knocked out cold, and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. I mean, we'll never know the judge's name, never. We'll have like 20 Phoenix Wright games and we'll never know the judge's name. You made the call to the police from the first floor of the restaurant, correct? Exactly. Cell phones don't get a signal down in the hideout. Was anyone else on the first floor at the time? Not a soul. Also, I do love that the piano has ice on it. Is it really that cold in there that the piano has ice on it? It was the middle of the night after all. So there in the darkened restaurant, I called the cops. After making the call, I returned to the hideout. It didn't seem right to leave the injured waitress alone. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. And when you returned, the victim was already dead, yes. I'll admit, I was a little startled when I walked in. A little? He was bleeding from his forehead, after all. I guess I'd be startled too if I walked in on a scene like that. That's when I made another phone call. Wait a minute. If this is how we found him... Wait, how could he... No, because the police... Yeah, the hat was removed during the investigation. Because why would Phoenix put back the hat if he took it off? He never took off the hat. He just saw him dead right there. So how would he know there was a cut on his forehead if he didn't take off the hat? The hat was only removed during the investigation. So I take it it's weird here. Cut? Cut? Cut! Cut! Gatto. 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 Thank you. Oh, okay, good. Mr. Wright, if I may. Yes? Take a look at this photograph of the crime scene. See the victim here? He's wearing a hat. I wouldn't think you could see blood on his forehead. Good point. Ooh. Justice, next time you point out an inconsistency, put a little more oomph into it. I tried saying cut like 6 times though. You're a lawyer, not a director. I'm not- Okay, CB, I'm sorry. I'm not good at directoring, okay? Mr. Wright, can you explain this to the court? Ah, I forgot to mention something. I was the one who put that hat on his head. What? You? You put the hat on the dead man's head? He wore it through our entire poker game. After calling the police when I returned to the scene, his head was in full view. Shining bright, just like in this photograph. And I picked his hat up off the floor and put it on his head. Why did you do a thing like that? All I can say is, I'm sorry. But that's the only thing I touched at the crime scene. So Miss O really didn't see it. It being the victim's, his head. I think not. She was out cold. I believe I was the only one who witnessed his head. Ah, here we go again. Mr. Gavin? Pardon. It just seems that our client is determined to lie his way through his case. Hey, he's still our client, isn't he? I believe that's enough of that. Oh, Mr. Gavin? This witness's testimony is more like a travesty. It's riddled with lies. I'm beginning to see how you came to lose your attorney's badge 7 years ago. Well, you certainly have a unique way of treating your clients, Kristoff. I never knew. I believe it was you who threw the first stone. Mr. Wright, if you intend to ever tell the truth about this case, it's now or never. Don't be misled, I haven't told a single lie here. Huh? When I noticed the trap, I put the card in the bottle to dispose of it. And when I put the hat on the victim's head, let's just say I had a reason for doing that as well. A reason? That reason is right here. Your cell phone? That night, recall that I spoke with defense attorney Gavin after calling the police. Just in case, I recorded our conversation. What's this? Now that we're all here, I see no reason why I shouldn't play it back for the court. Hold on, I can do a good cell phone. Let me get a good cell phone voice. Let me see. Here we go. Cell phone. Kristoff, I seem to be in a bit of trouble. What's this? Game not going well? Something like that. That gentleman who challenged you, he turned out to be good? He turned out to be dead. Someone hit him. Hard. You mean someone cracked that flawless bone china plate? It wasn't you, was it? Me? Please. The cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands. Should it come to that. Bone china plate? Wait. In the phone call, it said plate. There was no L in the plate, and now it's plate? What's a plate? So there was a typo. Like a bone china plate. Or bone china plate. A kind of porcelain, very smooth and shiny. And not plate, but oh, it is plate. I believe he was referring to a certain gentleman's balding forehead. Oh, so because he had the hat on, how would Kristoff know that he was bald? The court appreciates the defendant's discretion in not indicating my forehead. Wait a second, something's not right about that phone call. So after Mr. Gavin ate dinner with you, he left the Borscht Bowl Club? Most certainly. Then how did he know? When did he see this bone china plate? Or pate? Oh, that's right. Yes, that was when I began to see my good friend in a different light. Troubled, I returned to the crime scene, and when I spotted Mr. Smith's head again, I realized exactly what was wrong. Well, Mr. Gavin, the stage has been set. Perhaps you would like to explain this to the court. Exactly how did you come by your privileged knowledge of the victim's head? So, this is your reason. The reason why you put the victim's hat back on. Your point, Mr. Gavin? It's come down to this, has it? Phoenix Wright. Oh boy. Order, I will have order. Mr. Payne. Yes, Your Honor? I believe this court has been left with no other choice. Are you prepared to hear defense attorney Gavin's testimony? Well, as a prosecutor, Very well, we'll break for 10 minutes. Wow, Payne didn't even have a... He was like... Wait, what... After which Mr. Gavin will take the stand for a cross-examination. Are we all clear on that? Crystal clear, Your Honor. Very well, this will be the final recess for the day. 2 recesses on the first... This is the first case! How crazy is this? Alright, back at this. Mr. Gavin and Mr. Wright are both in the judge's chamber. Who'd have thought today would turn out like this? May I? Oh! It's Phoenix's daughter! Hey! She looks beautiful! I like her design. I don't know what it is, but I do like people in capes. I like capes. Huh? What? Hello, sir. Please, pick a card. What's all this about? Is this one okay? Excellent. I have a message for you. The last hand is about to be played. You'll need a trump card to make it. A trump card? The card you have chosen is magical. Use it wisely and the game is yours. That's all. An ace? Where do I remember that card from? And there's ketchup on it! Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces and Mr. Wright's 2. It is 5 aces in all. It is true, I have seen it, the 5th ace. There was cheating, I swear to you. The missing 5th ace. Wait, this blotch of red. Is this ketchup? You have your trump card. Now it's up to you to cut the deck and draw the truth. My father's fate is in your hands. I know you can do it. She is adorable. This bloodstained card is my trump card for finding the truth? I got myself a tomatoey ace. I fell deep into thought as my mind raced to understand what this all meant. That girl, I'd seen her recently, but where? That's when I made the connection. The locket. She is very beautiful indeed. Received from mysterious girl. Alright, I guess we're back now. Wait, what? Wait, we're transitioning to this with the... Wait, this is weird. It should be a black screen and then we're back in court. Now we're transitioning at court? That's weird. Let me see the bloody ace for a second. The blood. I want to see the blood. A single drop of blood marks the front of the card. Great. Anything else I should know about? And it's red too. Court will now reconvene. Defense Attorney Christoph Gavin, will you please take the stand? This is odd. Now then, if you would, Mr. Payne. Yes, Your Honor. Will the witness state his name and occupation? Is this farce necessary, Your Honor? Believe me, far stranger things have gone on in this courtroom. Fine, I'll play along. First, there's one thing we need to have made clear. How did you know about the secret beneath the victim's hat? By secret, I'm guessing he means the fact that Mr. Smith was bald. Forgive my curiosity, but what is it about this fellow's head? Your Honor seems to have an inordinate interest in it. Wait, what? Why is he over here? Oh my goodness, the old music's playing. I wouldn't call it inordinate, Mr. Gavin. Mr. Wright! What do you think you're doing, Wright? Wow, things sure look different from the other side. You know what I mean, Apollo? Speaking of looking from the other side, let's consider something for a second. The victim wore that hat all night and everyone's taking it off except for that one time. That one time being the instant he was hit. Oh. When Mr. Wright returned for reporting the crime, the hat was lying on the floor. Mr. Wright picked it up and placed it on the victim's head. In other words, in order to have seen Mr. Smith's bald head, you would have had to be at the scene of the crime, at the time of the crime. In other words, you'd have to be the real killer, is what you're trying to say. Not bad, Apollo. Mr. Gavin? I'm afraid that I haven't been entirely honest with the court. What? Oh, I assure you, I had the noblest of intentions. I did it all to protect my client, Mr. Wright. Yet, I'm afraid in the current situation, I see little reason to hide anything. Very well, allow me to tell you the truth of what happened that night. Finally, you may begin your testimony. Tell us, how were you involved in the events of that fateful night? Man, we're just getting closer. That fateful night. The rage I sensed in that man that night troubled me, so I returned to the club. I went down to the basement and peeked in through the little window to the hideout. It must have been right after that murder took place. The victim was dead as he appears in the photo. A bald head and a conscious girl, and Wright holding a bottle in his hand. I sensed that was not the best place for me to be at the time, and so I left. That's when the call came from Wright. So you witnessed the murder? Do I want to know something? If it's spoilery, no thank you. Oh goodness, I need a stretch. Oh. Sitting down is painful. Maybe I can try streaming standing up, but I will be out of view. If I stood up, you won't see my face. Well, I don't think anybody wants to see my face. It's alright. Nobody does. Alright, so you witnessed the murder. So you, the viewer, have witnessed the murder. What will you say about that? For better or worse, I missed the actual moment of the deed. Mr. Gavin, may I remind you that you're on Mr. Wright's defense team? Your testimony is clearly disadvantageous disadvantageous to your client. What else could I say? I'm standing on the witness stand after all. So you are, Mr. Gavin. And you had to testify as you just did. You had to tell them you saw the scene of the crime through that little window. Mr. Wright? You had to say that. Because that was the only probable window of opportunity, right, Apollo? Right, Apollo? Oh. Mr. Wright, the defense should do the cross-examination, not the defendant. Mr. Justice, are you prepared? Yes, Your Honor. I can't believe I'm going up against Mr. Gavin. This trial is getting weirder and weirder. Here we go, let's do it. The rage I sensed in that man that night troubled me, so I returned to the club. That man, you mean Mr. Smith? He was different from the other customers. His aura, shall we say. I knew he was a serious poker player, but it was more than that. So then you knew the true nature of your client's job. Of course, but I also knew he wasn't engaged in gambling, which would be illegal. Well, it just makes sense that he'd know. They were friends after all. Worried for my friend, I returned to the club. You see, I feared this Mr. Smith might be someone coming to settle a no score. I see, what happened then? I went down to the basement and peeked in through the little window to the hideout. The little window? You mean the one used to keep watch up on the stairs? Yes, a relic of the ancient past. The Black Marketeers used it, I believe. Why did you go through the trouble of peeking in through the window? Wouldn't it have been easier to just open the door and go inside the room? I didn't want to upset Wright, you see. Upset Mr. Wright? Yes, what if my fears had been unfounded? I'd be walking in on their match, bad form to say the least. So far, everything he's saying makes sense. It must have been right after that murder took place. How do you know it was right after the murder? Really, no need to shout, Justice. I was just getting to that part of my testimony. Ah, there he is, the coolest defense in the West we all know and love. Even when you're standing up there on the witness stand, some things never change. I was afraid you'd change too, Mr. Wright, but you haven't. You and that overbearing personality of yours. With friends like these, who needs enemies? The victim was dead as he appears in the photo. By photo, you mean the second photograph of the crime scene. Precisely. You see, he wasn't wearing his hat then. I saw his head when he was dead. And then Mr. Wright came along and replaced his hat. Can you describe the scene of the crime for us? A bald head and a conscious girl on right holding a bottle in his hand. Those were the only three at the scene of the crime. Yes, as far as I saw at least. Then we're back to where we started. The killer was the defendant, Phoenix Wright. Who else could have been? But why didn't you talk to the police? Two reasons. First, I didn't actually witness the very moment of the crime. Second, my office was asked to defend Wright. Even after seeing what I had seen, I couldn't abandon my friend. There must have been someone else there at the moment of the crime. Justice, I just said I saw no one, not a soul. But that goes against what Mr. Wright said. Ah, yes, this mysterious fourth person. Who would conveniently be the real killer, I suppose? Glad to see we agree, Mr. Gavin. Let me pose a question then. Tell me, what possible reason did the real killer have to swap the cards in the victim's hands? Perhaps you could show us a reason why a thing would be necessary? How can I show something I can't find myself? Remember, Apollo, the card that was swapped out was the fifth ace. The fifth ace, right. Well, Mr. Justice, the question of why the killer would swap out a card has been raised. Can you point to a reason? Because I just got the ace, I'll use that. It's now or never. The defense would like to present evidence to the court. Evidence showing the reason why a card was swapped out. Then go ahead and point out your reason then, Mr. Justice. Why did the victim take the fifth ace? Because it was bloody! My reason is, this. Is that an ace? I win the game. Why, it's got blood on it. Right next to the spade. What? Uh-oh, got him. This is insane. Why wasn't I told about this? Why? Could this be? Could this be the missing fifth ace? Inconceivable. How could you? Who spilled ketchup on my cards? Is it really ketchup? Yeah, it is. What are you doing with that card? Well, that's the thing. Why is Mr. Gavin so upset? It's just a fishy card from some fishy girl. Oh, that card? It's mine. That is, I picked it up at the Borscht Bowl Club that night after the murder had occurred. I gave it to my daughter. Cards were a Stockton trade after all. Wait, what? No, impossible. Unacceptable. The court can't accept this evidence. It's a fraud. A fraud? How can you be so sure? What? I would think the only person who could claim it was a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene, the real killer. Allow me to elaborate. What if this trace of blood was the reason? The reason for the killer to take the card from the scene of the crime? Where are you going with this? Take another look at the photo, and at the victim's head. At the moment of the crime, his hat fell to the floor, and a trickle of blood ran from his forehead down to the back of his head. Couldn't a drop of that blood have fallen onto one of the cards? I suppose. The killer then took the card to hide the blood. Regardless, that evidence is not permissible. Oh? Right, regardless of how you wasted the last 7 years, you used to be a lawyer. You know what a serious crime it is to conceal evidence. Oh, we can discuss the finer points of our legal system later. What's important now is that I've answered your question. What are you talking about? You wanted to know why the killer would have taken the card from the crime scene. And now I've told you. That one drop of blood would have been decisive evidence, you see. This is baseless conjecture, baseless. Oh, there it is. There's our boy. He's also tanned. He's gotten quite tanned. He's very tan. Oh, I assure you it's quite based. What? It's amazing, really, how a single drop of blood on a single card can lead us to the truth. It's quite simple. Well, Apollo? Yes? Try picturing the scene of the crime in your head. Oh my goodness, we're actually getting 3D. Oh my goodness. The murder took place in the hideout. The body of the luckless victim was found at the poker table. And before the killer swapped the card out, there was a single card with a drop of blood on it in the victim's hand. Given this, there is one decisive problem with this scene. Well, what is it? Let's keep it simple, shall we? Given that there was a drop of blood in the card, whose position in this diagram doesn't fit? The victims, the killers, the witnesses, the second witnesses? Whose position doesn't fit with the bloody card? With the bloody card, can't be the witness or... with the bloody card. Can't be the second one. Can't be the killer. The position doesn't fit with the bloody card. Wait, it could be the victim because if his head is backwards, how did a drop of blood get on the card? How did a drop of blood get on the card that way? So I'm gonna say the victim. Well, isn't it the victim's position that's the problem? I don't follow your logic here, Mr. Justice. Well, look, the victim was struck in the head, sending him back in his chair. You think any blood will fall behind the body, not onto the table in front of him? Ah! Take a look at the photo again. If he bled in this position, the blood will fall on the floor, not on the cards. Why, that's right. So, what does this mean? Incidentally, we were sitting in swivel chairs. Swivel chairs? Oh, man. Apollo, try turning the chair around. Oh, wait, I have to... Oh, I gotta, like... Oh, do I actually have to turn the chair? Oh, I actually have to touch the chair. The chair was facing the other way? It would have to be. Turn the chair around, so we have to assume that at the time of the murder, the victim's chair was facing away from the table. When Mr. Wright returned from informing the police, which way was the chair facing? When I came back to the room, the body was facing as seen in this photo. That would mean the killer turned the chair back around. Let's take the next step. Look at the diagram once more. We now know the killer was facing away from the table at the time of the murder, but this creates another significant contradiction. Again? Let's test your reasoning skills again, shall we? Apollo, whose location on this diagram contradicts our new understanding of the crime? The victims, the killers, the witnesses, the second witnesses? Whose location creates a contradiction if the victim was facing away? The killer, actually. The victim was struck from the front, correct? Indeed. Well, wouldn't it be hard for the killer to be hidden from the front? Wouldn't it be hard for the killer to hit him from the front, sitting where his indicator currently is? I would think it would be quite hard, yes. Yes, but what you're saying makes no sense. Why would the victim suddenly turn to face the wall in the middle of the game? I believe a sufficient reason will soon come to light. What? There's something in this diagram that makes far less sense, actually. Look again at the diagram. Apollo, if the victim was struck while he was sitting as shown here, where would his assailant be standing? Try marking on the diagram. But there's no room to put a mark where the killer should be. Don't worry, let's think it through and see what we find. We know the victim was facing towards the wall at the time of the crime. That's the only thing we know for sure. Try to forget about everything else. Where would the killer have to be standing to strike our victim from the front? Well, to strike from the front, you have to be on top of this? Here? The killer had to be standing, well, here. You get points for flair, but that's all about you get. That's about all you get. I thought I was onto something there too. I hardly need to point out that standing there would be impossible. The victim is facing a solid cupboard. Or are you claiming the killer climbed the cupboard and hit it from above? Ha. It's simple logic, really. If this was the only place the killer could have been standing, then that means that at the very moment of the crime... Wait, I know! At the moment of the crime, the cupboard wasn't there! What's this now? I mean, that's the only explanation. Wait, was there like a hidden hole? Your Honor, I have a suggestion for the defense. We should arrange to examine the cupboard in the hideout immediately. Bailiff, send a team to the crime scene immediately. Have them try to move the cupboard. Ah, Your Honor. What? There's one more thing your men should look for. Please give this to the bailiff. Yes, I see. You do belong in the courtroom after all, Mr. Wright. I do my best. Oh boy, this is this is the first case. But let's forge ahead here while we wait. Look at the diagram once again, it's been changed. If the killer was standing here at the time of the crime, then this cupboard wasn't here, which means... Apollo, try moving the cupboard. Okay, slidey slide slide. Thank you. As you can see, the cupboard was the problem. At the time of the murder, it has to have been moved as shown here. Now everything is in place to reconstruct the moment of the crime. Oh my. What's this? What is it now? Look at the diagram of the crime scene once more. It appears we found yet another contradiction. What I believe to be the final contradiction, in fact. Huh? Oh, dang! Notice something, Apollo? Our line of deduction is rapidly approaching its logical conclusion. Now then, Mr. Justice, please point to the new contradicting indicator. Is it the victim, the killer, the witness, the second witness? Oh, when you move the cupboard, the second witness wouldn't be able to see. It's blocking the window. About this cupboard, are we okay with assuming it was moved? Sure, why not? Well, if it was, something really doesn't fit. The cupboard will completely cover up the window to the stairs. Ah, that's right, someone standing outside wouldn't be able to see in. Someone like Mr. Gavin. What did you say? Oh, is the coolest defense in the West losing his cool? Don't expect me to play along with your little game, right? It's only a game until someone gets killed, Mr. Gavin. And someone was, while the window to that room was blocked out by a cupboard. So, Mr. Gavin, perhaps you'd like to explain to the court exactly where did you witness that crime scene from? Excuse me, Your Honor. Order. This is a court of law and I will have order. We just now received word from our investigation team at the Borscht Bowl Club. They've examined the cupboard in the hideout, Your Honor. Oh? And what did they find? Well, Your Honor, it turns out there's a secret passage behind it. Oh my goodness. It's working, it's working. Yes, I believe I mentioned something of the sort before. This is one of the tricks of the room many of our regulars know about. I do remember him saying something about that now that he mentions it. A secret passage is a handy thing to have when you're engaged in illegal going-ons. I need a secret passage in my room. Where's my secret passage for my illegal goings-ons? I need my passage and I need it now. Where will my secret passage be? Never know when you might need it to duck away from the eyes of the law. So the room has a secret passage. Where does it go? The other side connects to the restaurant above. The underworld bosses could get away from the cops and enjoy a cold bowl of borscht, no doubt. Just like our killer. Ooh. We are finding out stuff about Mr. Gavino. You see where our line of the simple deductive... Yeah, wow. I'm sorry. You see where our line of simple deductive reasoning has led us, Apollo? I see it, but I don't believe it. That girl wasn't kidding when she said I needed this trump card for the last hand. At the time of the murder, the window was blocked and the victim's hat was only off his head for the few minutes between Mr. Smith's murder and Mr. Wright's return from calling the cops. In other words, Phoenix is a real detective. Phoenix is now taking over for Gumshoe. Oh, I hope I get to see Gumshoe here. Can't wait to see him again. In other words, the only place anyone could have seen the victim's bald head was from inside the hideout. Well, Mr. Gavin? Come on, say something. Dare I ask what really happened that night? Actually, I think we can probably figure it out for ourselves at this point. That night, for whatever reason, our killer had a date with Mr. Smith. A date with destiny. There he crouched, hidden in the secret passageway behind the cupboard, holding his breath, waiting for just the right moment. Then the chance came, and he took it. Ah! Don't kill me, I'll become a ghost! What? Why did you do that? Wait here, I'll get help? Ms. Ogle really was out cold, struck by Mr. Smith. But his time was soon to come. Mr. Wright went upstairs to call the cops, leaving Mr. Shady Smith alone in the hideout with the unconscious dealer. Then our killer stepped up from the secret passage and into the hideout. The victim must have heard the cupboard sliding aside. He wheeled his chair around to look and... that's a lot of damage! After the deed was done, the criminal must have seen the blood on the card. He would have, of course, realized the need to destroy the evidence. That single spot of blood told the whole story of the crime. Too bad for him he didn't linger any longer in the hideout that night. If he had, he might have noticed the cards on the floor. And the fact that they were all red. Ugh. He cracked, he snapped, crackle popped. We're finding out everything. Well, it seems this trial has taken yet another turn. I'm truly sorry I had to see this day come, Mr. Gavin. Mr. Gavin? Mr. Payne? Yes, Your Honor. The prosecution will continue its investigation. As for Mr. Phoenix Wright, the defendant, he is hereby cleared of all suspicion. Ah! Believe me when I say that I don't believe this is happening, Mr. Gavin. But I'm afraid circumstances call for me to issue a warrant for your arrest immediately. Objection! What now? Oh, no need to apologize. I rather enjoyed myself. It's not every day you get to witness a legendary attorney's dirty tactics firsthand. Your point, Mr. Gavin? Frankly, Your Honor, I'm shocked that a person of your caliber would be taken in by such a low-grade parlor trick. Excuse me? The defendant is cleared of all suspicion? This is hardly the time for jokes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright hasn't proven anyone's guilt or innocence here. What he has done is use illegal evidence to put the blame on someone else. And not just anyone else, but me, his own defense attorney. Illegal evidence? Let me ask you, Mr. Gavin, is there still any reason at present to suspect me of wrongdoing? Of course. This bottle, for instance. The bottle of grape juice Mr. Wright was drinking. How do you intend to explain away the fingerprints on the murder weapon? And not just any fingerprints. Am I right, Mr. Payne? Actually, yes. The fingerprints on the bottle were upside down. I seem to recall this being an issue earlier. The court and this case demand an explanation. I can think of only one reason why one would hold the bottle upside down. And that is to hit someone with the bottom of the bottle. Well, Your Honor? See how the caught fish squirms to the last. Well, Apollo? Yes? Your boss seems awfully concerned about this bottle still. But I'm sure you can come up with a suitable explanation. Just like that. Yeah. Just like what? Why would anyone grab a bottle upside down other than to... Gulp. Don't let him trick you into thinking his explanation is the only legit one. Is there really another? Take another look at the court record. I believe you'll find a simple answer there, in plain sight. How about you just say the answer in plain words? Because you'll lose the game. It would be hasty to deliver a verdict with unanswered questions indeed. Well, Mr. Justice, Mr. Gavin said that the court, and in this case demand an explanation. Don't worry, justice won't leave until justice is done. Perhaps the defense will care to enlighten the court. What evidence do you have to explain why the fingerprints in the bottle are upside down? That coffee with Godot changed him. That one cup of coffee changed everything. So let's see. That wouldn't explain anything. That's just his forehead. The cell phone. Wait. There are bottles that you have to pick up upside down just to drink. Hello, Nestor. Welcome to the stream. What goes on with you? It could be that one, but I don't see what the bottle there has to do with anything. So it might be because you're sitting down, and there's a box right there. Of course, the way you pick up is like this. You pick it up upside down, and then you say hello. This is how I say hello. Alright, I'm gonna do it. 5-head time! There we go. It's actually easier to show you than explain, Your Honor. Place that bottle on the floor next to your chair. Excuse me? On the floor? So Nestor, what brings you here tonight? What brings you here? Now reach down and pick it up. Without getting it out your chair. Without getting out of your chair. See, you naturally go to pick up the bottle by its neck. But yeah, this case has been very surprising. I can't wait to see what the rest of this game has for me. It is insane so far. Chilling watching some Ace Attorney streams. You should have seen me earlier playing the trilogy. The whole dang trilogy. With your fingers upside down. Gotcha. Look at this photograph taken on the night of the murder. The defendant, Mr. Wright, sat here, playing piano, bottles of grape juice on the floor to the side of his piano bench. He would have naturally picked up the bottle upside down several times. Wow, I can't believe it was that simple. Oh, cool, so you're playing all the games? So far, yes. I just beat Trials and Tribulations about a week ago, so I'm up to Apollo Justice. We'll see what happens after that. But I'm also a variety streamer, so it's not Ace Attorney all the time. Recall our dinner that evening, Kristoff. I was drinking my usual juice then too. How many does he drink a day? Does he drink like 16 bottles of juice like how Godot drinks 16 cups of coffee? 16 cups of coffee, 16 bottles of grape juice. Godot changed his life. Godot changed everything about him. Basically, you used the bottle on the table to do the deed. But then you must have remembered. So you went and picked up one of the bottles from under the piano. And you switched the bottles. You took one of Mr. Wright's bottles and made it look like the murder weapon. That's actually a big brain right there. 16 bottles of Snapple juice. Believe me, if I drank 16 bottles, that's a case, and that's one whole case, and a third of another case of Snapple if I had to drink that much. What do you have to say to these charges, Mr. Gavin? Fascinating. So this is the legendary attorney's famed tactic of misdirection. What? You claim that I switched the bottle. Where is your proof? Proof? Well, that's, as I thought, more baseless conjecture. I'm afraid your bottle of proof is quite empty. I wouldn't be so sure about that. Your Honor, when you initiated the investigation of the hideout earlier, do you recall requesting an additional investigation? Ah, yes. I have your memo about that here. Retrieve the bottles from under the piano at the Borscht Bowl Club. And here's one of the bottles in question. Here, we brought all these bottles. Here's one of them. What, are you gonna dust that for fingerprints too? I would be surprised if any were on that but his. Mr. Gavin probably wouldn't make such an obvious mistake, true. That bottle wouldn't bear a trace of anything. Say, Apollo. Yes? Why don't you go ahead and examine that bottle? But why? Just humor me. Mr. Wright, that bottle will solve this case once and for all. What? That's some bottle. So oh, wait a minute. I see that. There's a card in there. There's something inside the bottle. Oh, it didn't pop? It didn't pop. I was hoping for a boop, but it just screwed off. That was boring. What's this? That card, it can't be. Recall that unpleasant woman's testimony for a moment. Miss Olga O'Reilly's? Yes, our little swindling Devachka. Flashback.
And not in front of the girl like I was supposed to. And Wright lost the last hand just like he was supposed to. And Smith searched him. But the planet card was gone. The trap failed.
Wait, this isn't... You're telling me that this is the planet card you disposed of? Our Russian, not Russian girl. You could say that. The one you mentioned in this piece of testimony.
I happened to put my hand in my pocket and found a card. Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found it was the 5 of hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card. Before the game. Disposed? Where? There was an empty bottle of grape juice and I've been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle.
And there it is. The 5 of hearts. This is the card. The bottles were swapped. And the only one who could have done that was the 4th person in the club that night. You, Mr. Christoph Gavin. He's doing the point. He's doing it. Oh. Oh, is he angry? Oh, why is there an earthquake? Where's the food floating? Goodness. He's angry. Does that mean we got him? I think we did. That is all. Wow. Is this your idea of revenge, Phoenix Wright? Revenge? Revenge for the events that took away your attorney's badge 7 years ago? I want to know how. My past is like my logic, straight and true. Nothing's changed. All I did was point the finger of justice in a proper direction. Fine. I'm glad we could have this little right. This is insane. What about me? Don't I get to prosecute anyone? Oh yeah, Payne did nothing. He did nothing. Wow. He didn't do anything. I believe this time we've finally come to the end of our trial. Mr. Payne, do you have a report for us on Christoph Gavin? He's admitted everything. We're processing his arrest now. Payne is here? Wait, Payne is here? I see. Still, one has to wonder why he would do such a thing. He didn't even have a connection to the victim, did he? None that we know of. Mr. Wright, have you anything to add? I'm afraid I can't shed any more light on the matter. About this victim, Mr. Shady Smith. His occupation was listed as traveler, and not profession to be sure, and that's all we know about him. I'll arrange a follow-up investigation, Your Honor. Good, Mr. Wright? Yes? 7 years, and you still haven't lost your touch. Christoph Gavin was a man with much significance for me, both as a friend and a lawyer. He was extremely talented, to be sure. I needed 2 things before I could confront him. The first was a place where no injustice would be tolerated, this courtroom. The second was a man who would tolerate no injustice. In other words, a defense attorney. You, Apollo. Me? This is a dark time for our legal system. A twisting of justice brought on by our very own initial trial system. We have to set it right. Mr. Wright. Our work lies ahead of us, and I, for one, am looking forward to it. He smiles. But that's stubble, though. Well, this seems like a good time to announce a verdict. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright, not guilty. Woo! We have to set it right. I get it. Court is adjourned. Wow, that took almost 3 hours. The first episode almost took 3 hours. That's long. Wow. Hey, new music. Thanks, Apollo. You came through just like I thought you would. I'm pretty sure I didn't do a thing in there. It was you who cornered Mr. Gap, the killer. I couldn't have done it by myself. You sensed it too today, didn't you? Your ability. Ability? Yes, a sensitivity I lack. You'll come to understand it soon enough. What, he doesn't have the Magatama anymore? Wait, I wonder if he means...
I have one question for the witness stand. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true? Of course it's true. What's this weird vibe I'm getting? I'm just vibing.
What was that, Mr. Wright? It's called a vibe checker. It's when you check people's vibes. You'll have to find the answer to that question yourself. The answer. Right. Today was full of questions without answers. Most of them about Mr. Gavin. What possible reason could he have had to commit murder? Perhaps you'll learn that in the days to come. Huh? Wait. You don't know, do you? This locket is the key. Huh? Oh, that reminds me. I met the girl whose picture is in your locket. Your daughter, right? That's right. She's my daughter. You know, you were right about this locket. Eh? I took this off the neck. Wait, he took it off his what? I took this off his neck the night he died? But it looks like our dear Russian scam artist saw me. So the truth is, this locket really did belong to him. Wait, but that's perjury! You testified. You said that locket was yours. I said no such thing, actually. Huh? I merely said that it was a locket with my daughter's picture inside. A subtle distinction, but a distinction nonetheless. And it's the truth. Wait, but then why? Why was the victim wearing a locket with a picture of your daughter inside it? Wait a minute. Could it? Sometimes the straightest path to the truth isn't the best one. Give it time. You're still just getting started with your career. Speaking of which, I may be out of a job. I work for Gavin Law Offices after all. I still can't believe I just saw Mr. Gavin get led away in handcuffs. Apollo. Yes? How about coming to work for me? Huh? You mean at the Wright & Co. Law Offices? I mean, there's not a single attorney in my generation that doesn't know about it. I can't imagine that to be true, but... Wait, but didn't you... You're not a... Oh, I turned in my badge, yes. I'm not an attorney anymore. It's crazy that he's not an attorney anymore. That incident 7 years ago. That legendary trial. And at the middle of it all was one man. Phoenix Wright. The case reached its sad conclusion and he left law for good. Have you ever thought about coming back to the courts? I'm not qualified to stand in the court of law, I'm afraid. Didn't you notice in today's trial? There was a single piece of forged evidence. Forged evidence? What are you talking about? I'm talking about evidence that shouldn't have existed. A naughty magician's trick. One piece of evidence struck me as odd, it's true. It just seemed, well, too perfect. I'll bet this was the forged evidence. Probably this card. Is it? Is it? Is it? Listen to me, you dang 3DS. Listen. Hello? Listen to me. Why aren't you listening to me? Listen. There we go. You mean this, don't you? I got this from your daughter, Mr. Wright. Yes, that card couldn't have been found at the crime scene. Why? Because the killer took it with him when he left. Leaving the wrong card in its place, luckily for us. Wait. The court can't accept this evidence. It's a fraud.
A fraud? How can you be so sure? I would think the only person who could claim it was a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene, the real killer.
My verdict was already handed down 7 years ago. Then you really... Yes, I forged this... What? One look at the crime scene should have told you it wasn't real. But you can't do something like that and call yourself an attorney. Who's calling themselves an attorney? Apollo? So it's true. The rumor is true. 7 years ago. None of that matters much now, does it? Gavin's gone. But still, holy heck. Wait, did I punch him? I punched him. It's your story from here on out, Apollo. Perhaps I can help you turn the next page. My office is address. Drop in if you like. Mr. Wright. Oh, about your uppercut. Try yelling "take that" next time. I find it packs a little more punch. And Apollo, thanks for today. I had a good time. Take that! And with that, Mr. Wright walked out the door. And that's how my first trial ended, with forgery. A lot of mysteries went unsolved. Phoenix have been playing Marvel too much. Yes, I've been playing Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and I found myself in there. What? A lot of mysteries went unsolved. And at the time, I had no idea they were all related. Every mystery that day, connected by a single thread of logic. I found that out soon enough. My name is Apollo Justice, attorney at law. And this is how my story begins. My goodness, that was a 3-hour case. The first case and it took 3 hours. Turnabout corner. Yeah, just turn about that corner right there. That was insane. But let's see, wait, there's no art? What happened to the art? It doesn't show art for a completed case anymore? That stinks. Well, that's the end of the first case. My throat needs a rest because it's getting a bit too raspy out there. But either way, thank you all for coming to tonight's stream. I hope you all had a wonderful time. This has been a crazy start to a game. Now, there's still more courses to go through. Next time, I will be playing more of this for sure. But yes, thank you all for coming. To everybody who's new and stuff like that, here's all my social media. Don't forget to follow. Don't forget to follow if you want to see more stuff like this and a lot more. Until the next stream, everybody. Adios and rest easy, everybody. I need to rest my freaking throat. My voice doesn't sound